every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it...
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick. And
I'm McCarter.
McCarter in the house, getting high with McCarter here. We are live at the studio. Oh, look at this. More birthday bonanza
Wait a
going
minute.
down. We've got our buddy Telly in the house.
they let anybody in here.
I know.
They really do.
He got excited.
And he's
Wow.
wearing the glasses. Look at him. He's all cool now. Look
Hella
at
cool.
our little boy's all grown up, Adam.
I know, right?
He's all grown up.
Welcome to this illustrious birthday bash.
Happy birthday, dude.
Pre-birthday. Actually,
Pre-birthday.
pre-birthday. Tomorrow. It's a whole day away.
Wait, it's actually your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Oh my God! Fuck! Happy birthday! I don't know why we were talking about birthdays the whole time.
You're like, God, he keeps
Happens
bringing up this
every
whole
year.
birthday thing. Like it's he thinks it's his birthday. Yep. Going into senior citizen. AARP is after me. They were waiting outside my house when I came out.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Paperwork. Like, hey,
Sign this.
hey, you want to get some discounts?
Wait a minute. I filled it out last year just to get on.
I bet you would fill
yeah.
it out.
Oh,
I'm not
fuck
filling
yeah.
nothing out, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even. If you fill it out, you've accepted the fact that you're old at that
No,
point.
you just get
Yes.
the 10% off at the Arby's.
Oh, ooh.
Your favorite place to eat.
No way. I would rather not.
Adam's
I'd rather
vegan, by the way.
I'd rather make it. No, I'm
Okay.
not vegan
He's
either.
vegan.
He's
He's vegan.
Tell that to the fish I kill. They
so
don't-
you're a pescatarian.
Exactly. I call myself Equalitarian, though, because I don't like the word pescatarian. I think it sounds weird.
Oh,
Sounds very religious almost. Like,
it kind of does.
oh, you're Episcopalian fish guy.
Well, it kind of sounds like Rastafarian.
Yeah. Well,
But I like
they're
that
all
word.
Aryan. They're all something-ians. Something
Whoa,
Ians.
whoa.
Aryan.
whoa.
Aryan ring,
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
Oh,
hey.
wow. Oh, hoy.
Whoa.
Something
We're
Aryan.
totally. Now we have to edit.
Equalitarian. How's that? That's my... It's only quality. Cannabis, food, all of it.
Well, I hope
I think
you
you're
have...
the same. I think you're the same style though, because
Yeah.
you know about home growing for your own food. You know,
Yes.
I
I have a
looked
garden.
into you. I was like, all right, let me see this. What's with this
Oh,
girl?
Wait a minute.
yes.
Hold
Oh,
on,
she's
hold
done
on.
the
Stop,
same
stop,
tips
stop.
as us. All
You
right.
Yes.
did research.
I did.
Oh, wow.
Dave has this idea that we can do a whole podcast without ever knowing who anybody is, and it's nice to not know them too well because then you get a fun show.
Right.
But it's good to have a couple, just at least one or two
Some nuggets.
factoids back there where you're like, hey. I got a couple. I got a couple.
Oh, well,
Oh,
she has
all right.
questions for us.
I know.
too, heard.
I'm
I
gonna
have a
not
couple
leave it.
questions.
I know.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God. Well, no, it's okay. I already said in the description. I already told you. You are taking
Triggered.
over. You're taking over once we get our second guest in because
Oh, no shit.
I'm just gonna kick back and do dabs on my birthday and be
Oh.
like, this is easy.
Wait.
Now we have a real, actual person who knows how to interview people. This is perfect instead of me just sidetracking everything every 5 seconds.
Vinny, John is coming over at 5:30, so can you time the wings to come out around 5:25? So
Wow.
when McCarter, sorry,
You can say Emily. It's okay.
takes over the show, I could be, have something
like,
to
"Wait a
do
minute,
and eat
take
the
over."
wings.
Oh yeah, taking over.
It's my show now?
Yep.
Yeah, you get your own hour at least within
2
our 3
hours.
2 hours. Yeah, we're giving
Yeah,
you 2 hours.
maybe
Oh, my
3.
God.
As
I
long
don't
as
know.
Mark's okay with it. You okay with it, Mark?
That's a lot.
Hey, yeah.
But we do
Whatever.
have, so
Yeah.
we have John coming in, right? And then we
Chamber
have,
of Commerce doing a whole cannabis thing with.
So when you says cannabis Chamber of Commerce, is this like a made-up thing, or is this the Chamber of Commerce?
No, it's not the Chamber of Commerce.
knew it
it's
wasn't.
the,
I knew
it's
it
an
wasn't.
association
I knew
of
it wasn't.
cannabis businesses because NCIA was taken already, so they couldn't use those initials. So they had to come up with something original but not original, and Chamber of Commerce seemed appropriate. Cannabis Chamber of Commerce.
Definitely make people keep them on their toes. Where they'd be like,
I saw they had a happy hour recently, and I was like,
yeah.
but why not where's the weed? Like, they were all drinking.
well, that is the industry in itself. You go out
It
to
makes
these
me
things and you're
so
like,
mad.
you're like, what is going on here? Yeah, it should only be mocktails and cannabis.
I
in my
know,
opinion,
I
if
was
you really want to
like-
go, if you want to make a statement.
Yeah.
Finally, we should talk about that. If
Yeah.
you go into MJ BizCon's, tell us how we're doing from 2010 when it was my first one, it was, why do you serve alcohol? 2011 is stop serving alcohol. 2012 is you realize everyone's drunk after 4 o'clock and this is worthless in here. Stop serving alcohol.
Oh, the worst part is the fact that when you walk in and you're cruising around, you're like, what's going on over there? And you're like, ooh, big line. And then you get up and you're like, oh, it's a fucking bar. Like classic, you know what I mean? And then all those people are not at their booth, meaning they're not doing business, meaning that's not what they're there for. They're not there to drink.
Yeah.
So just by having that makes it always like...
And they always give you 2 free drink coupons.
Gotta loosen you up, make some sales.
Capitalism.
No, this is what we need. We needed a bag of grass or glassless.
Grass. We
From
need a bag of
Turplock.
grass. We need a bag of grass over here.
Wait, those are cute container. What are these little baggies?
Oh.
We have a good friend.
We have a great-
Lance Lambert. He runs Turplock.
Hey, he's having his party right now.
Grove
I
bags.
think right now is
His
his party.
party's right now, dude.
In
Yeah.
where he is?
Wait, I
Right
heard.
now, right now.
Hit him up. See if he
I've
wants to
heard
jump
of.
on.
I've heard of these.
So Grove bags, okay, so they, to the average person, plastic bag. These are 7. There's actually 7 layers of plastic in these things.
Whoa.
And they're designed to keep. If you're in a really humid environment, it's going to keep it dry. If you're in a real dry environment, it's going to keep it humid, and that's important because
It's like the McDLT. Keeps
Colorado-
the hot side hot and the cool side cool.
Colorado is like, it's the hardest place. I mean, you
Yeah.
put it in a jar and you're all happy, and then you come back. If you just leave the jar cracked open for like a couple hours, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's so critical.
Turn to dust.
And these ones, I've literally like lost it in my bag somewhere and come back. Oh, this thing's been there for 3 months. Fucking perfect. It's like almost better than it would have been if you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're really, I'm impressed.
So he
So
actually
cool.
got them to make a new bag because what he was doing is he was taking the ball jars and putting them inside bigger plastic bags. So now they're going to make them so that they fit right around. Just for Adam.
Just for me. Well, because
Just for you.
I mean, the one thing about bags, doesn't matter what bag it is, it's in a bag, so it is going to get pressure on it, So it is
Yeah.
nice to keep it in a jar. But then the worst part is you hand a good jar to somebody and then they do the old shaky, like they think, like, what are you doing?
Like, what are you
right
doing?
now?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
are you doing right now? Like,
Just breaking off trichome
yeah,
heads.
just
That's
smashing trikes.
This is your weed right here
Yeah, I
Whose
agree.
weed? That's all my weed, of course.
in the
it's
bag. So, but this is from Boulder Built.
Yo,
Oh, let's check
I
it out.
smoked
Yeah.
that Boulder Built joint on the way here, and like
got rich.
I thought I thought I was gonna smoke it real quick, and then but it lasted for 40 fucking minutes, dude. And
Allegedly,
and it was great.
While you were
while we're
driving?
walking
Oh, I don't
here.
know. Yeah, totally
Right, yeah, I was
walking.
like, do you mean
Walking.
you were in the Uber?
Totally. But no, but I was
Guys,
No, yeah. No,
Kids
yeah.
these days.
No,
It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
smoke and drive. It's illegal.
yeah, Adam.
It's totally not fun either.
It's not
so,
cool.
Yeah, we don't
so
even
not
like
fun.
it.
It's so
Not
not
cool.
fun driving through the mountains with your joint.
We hate it.
Watching the smoke go like this in the front, whiffing around,
it's a family podcast. There might be some kids watch. Do we have
Anyways.
a 21 warning on us?
It was good weed
It's
too.
their fault, dude. It's not my fault.
Wait, but how did it last 45 minutes? Was it a hash hole?
No, it was.
Are you?
I'm so surprised. I'm literally surprised. I thought it was gonna be done, and I was gonna be. But it like I pulled up, and it was.
It's a Hanukkah miracle.
Yeah, it really was. And it was.
really was.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
It's Adam's
I was
birthday
so
I
miracle.
gotta send links out to some people.
You had enough grass to get you 15
What is this
minutes.
grass thing? Is he like? What,
Yeah, well,
have
it's
you been
good.
watching
He's really
70s movies or
showing his
something?
age, like
You
Dragnet.
want to know something? You're
'cause you hit
so
50.
funny.
Who's got the grass,
Oh,
man?
I was listening to Simon and Garfunkel concert in the park today.
Hey, anybody got any grass over here?
No, he goes, and we wanted to thank the guys selling loose joints. Donated half their proceeds to the city of New York. But This is 1981, man.
Loose
You get in
joints. It's
trouble for saying that.
another long lost thing.
You have that lid over there, Mark?
Lids.
No, that's
Oh,
the funny
my.
thing is like, yeah, Bonnie's been like watching sugar and all that, and she was like trying to weigh out some food. She's like, "How much is an ounce?" I was like, "About 4 fingers," and like her mom laughed. It was all funny. It's good.
But,
You
but it's
used her
not in
name.
sugar terms, that's for sure.
No,
You'd be
no.
like, and that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I know.
Four fingers of sugar.
I know nothing about it.
How you doing?
I haven't had not a drop.
Really?
Not a drop. It's been.
That's impressive.
It'll be
Well, I mean,
5
you
weeks
get
on
sugar
Tuesday.
out of like your fruit
Funny
and
part-
stuff that you
but that's
eat,
the funny.
sugar out
No,
of
that's
everything.
That's the
Yeah,
funny
I
thing.
know. That's what I'm saying. You're
Dave-
not getting added sugar.
Dave
Correct,
is
yes.
not. He's like, if it's not white crystal sugar, I can eat it. So it's like,
No.
Well, I think there's a fiber to sugar ratio, correct? That's what we're doing here, and that's why fruit is good and
is
juice
good.
is bad and
No juice
yeah,
ever.
all that. So okay,
No, I haven't had a soda in 15 years.
Good.
Oh, wow.
Soda is so bad for you.
It's soda bad.
But 2 weeks ago, I went through Withdrawal sitting next to him, and he tells me I said I was going to die on the show, and I have to go find it because I felt like I was, but I don't remember saying that out loud.
Oh, he was having.
I remember.
Wait, withdrawals from sugar?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Big time.
I like almost hurt myself. Oh, no, I did hurt myself
Dave was
with my
losing
coffee
it.
mug.
He was losing it. He was getting all.
Yikes.
You know?
If you can get past day 14, it just feels so good now.
Well, what's
So
funny is
get off of it.
like way back in the day when sugar was a real like treat for people because there wasn't in every single product in the world. It was like they treated it like gold, you know what I mean? Like they bring, oh my God, look at this, amazing, and then you just see how quickly that went from, and it was probably worth more than gold at the time too because they couldn't, acquire it. Now all of a sudden it's like it is the cheapest thing, it's in everything, to the point where it's like, especially in America, like if you go to travel Europe, you go, oh look, bread is bread and this is this, and here you come and you're like, bread is basically just sugar, you know what I mean? It's like 5 forms of sugar and some other weird shit in there and forms of bread.
But it's that they actually put sugar in the bread when you don't need to because you're going to convert the carbohydrates to sugar anyway, but yet they're so lazy. I make bread, but I use like 50 grams of honey and in 3 loaves. I don't put any refined sugar in it. But anyway, we're a cannabis show who rarely talks about cannabis.
I know. I was like, when do we talk about
All
weed
this means
stuff?
is that I get all the edibles now.
When's the last time we haven't had edibles?
I don't know. We haven't had edibles for a minute, but I know that next time we get gummies and stuff, he'll be all.
Nope.
Yo,
I reached.
You can't have no gummies, bro.
First person I
None.
reached out to was Mike from Dab Logic.
Nope.
And I said,
He
do you
said
use
no.
refined sugar in your gummies? No, he does not.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm safe.
Well, I think he should, so that I can
Thanks,
have
Mark.
them.
You see what I mean? I'm serious. You have a following of like millions. If you
No,
know
I
any,
do not.
Talk to your people out there. Anybody knows OBS who will give up every Friday of their life?
Yeah, every Friday.
For
He
other-
seems like a great guy. He's doing great.
He is great, but look at I just want to pinch
someone's
him.
here.
Look at that.
Hello. Cool mushroom shirt.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. Mushroom shirts are allowed.
Yeah, we sometimes glance around the cannabis subject every so often. We might,
Yeah.
bounce off of it.
Well, I have questions.
Tell me, yeah.
Okay.
You might as well take over the show
Oh,
already.
geez.
Show's over. That's it.
Yay! It's my show
now the McCarter show.
Hey, before McCarter takes over the show, if anyone is in Boulder right now, if you go over to Boulder Built and say you heard it on the show, they will throw in a free joint with any purchase right now, probably even
That's
more
lit.
if you guilt them. So it's for the whole weekend, so just go over there.
You tell them it's for Adam's
Awesome.
birthday. That's what
Adam's birthday.
Oh, they'll be like, "Who's Adam?" They don't know when they're no so.
That's so good. Yeah, go to Boulder Built, right near my house in Boulder, actually.
And their weed is fire. Fire. My fingers are stuck together.
Yes, I know. It looks like you've been working on something for a while over here.
That's what happens.
Oh,
with
you're
the-
making fun of me? How long I take to
she's
roll
been
a
watching
joint?
the
You
show.
watching the show?
She knows what's up.
Holy fuck.
You know all those little
Oh.
innuendos.
I've watched it a couple times.
Oh, so she knows Dave takes at least a whole show to roll a joint. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
good.
Do you
what I
not
do.
believe in a grinder?
No.
If we had one, but
Oh, I would have brought you.
most of the time it's his
Extra.
weed and he's a breeder, so there's always an occasional seed that makes it through, and the last
okay.
thing you want to do is smoke it.
Ooh, yeah,
So
grinding
I'm
seeds is bad.
I'm
bad.
so used to.
Yeah,
One
breaking
slipping
up.
through.
right. Okay, well, my question.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, here we go. Question.
Drum
She's
roll,
been working
Mark.
all night.
Vinny.
She's been working all night on these people.
Any drum roll?
Yes. I have been getting so many questions about how I feel about the Delta 8 and the Delta 10
Oh.
products and then the THCA.
Good. So well, you
We have
you're
opinions.
asking, or you're going to tell us your opinion first?
No, I want to know
Well,
what.
ours is easy. Ours is easy on that one.
Hold on, ready?
Thank you. Well, yes, that's what
Yeah.
I say too. But then,
But then there's two sides. Okay,
There's-
Delta 8
yeah.
and Delta A is bullshit because it's not real. So we don't participate in non-real things.
right.
It's synthetic.
THCO and
Non-natural.
Delta 10 are dangerous. Like you don't even want to be around those things.
But yeah, mainly the THCA because people are
Okay,
saying
now THCA I'm happy with because THCA is just you know what? it's weed. sorry to tell everybody, but it's weed.
Right.
And so the problem
They're
is
different issues. You put three different
Right,
issues.
okay,
This is hemp.
but I
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like
this is-
people are, they're kind of all falling into the same category because it's kind of like the loophole.
Oh,
It's
I know.
because the same people who got into the hemp side of the business will profit from all three of those cannabinoids.
Right.
So, just specifically of Delta 8, we had on a guest who could be, and he will tell you this in a heartbeat, the smartest person out there right now. He has no problem telling you how smart he is Dr. Mark Scaldone, because he is, okay? And he can defend his position with science. We had him on right after the Delta 8 sort of hit the market, and I didn't see him
This mad.
he was furious. He's like, this is going to hurt people. It's dangerous. The process is dangerous of making it, and he took us through all the science. I won't even attempt to go into it. Telly could probably.
It's almost like saying like, hey, let's all smoke the slurry of the fucked up shit that we didn't that
Yeah,
shouldn't be there in the first place.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
what Dr. Mark is most worried about is like leftover byproducts from people doing the synthesis.
It's
Okay.
really bad. Like, so
Wow.
you're left with something that you now have to dispose of when the only problem we ever had was who can we give this sugar trim to because I don't want to throw it in my trash outside because they're going to
Right.
know I'm growing. And so that is a hard no, really dangerous.
And the THC. Oh,
Well, and then one more thing. We have had an evolutionary relationship with the cannabis plant going back
Right.
to when we were monkeys. We've known
sea
Delta
sponges.
8
No,
for,
I think when we were sea sponges,
Right.
was the first, our first connection.
for like 2 years.
Slow motion this side.
So we don't have enough data on it yet, other than it's really bad.
But yeah, the main thing I guess people are wondering is with the THCA because
so
are they
THCA
pulling it early?
Well,
how
THCA is like, okay, as a grower, there was like back when we first started getting tests done, we'd get the test and I'd look and I'd go, I thought I was growing good weed, and all of a sudden I see THC Delta 9 point what? Like, huh? And it was just like, no, don't worry about it. It's you're not growing shitty weed. You just have a certain strain that does that. Whereas other strains, you'll see it more on the right. You'll see it more in the Delta side, right? And then, but when you smoke it, it converts anyway. So it's like
That's what I was reading.
That's the whole. That's the
Yeah.
whole. The real loophole is that. That's the real loophole, which nobody seems to get it. And even the guys who are selling it. Most of them get it, but even a lot of those guys don't get it. They're just like, no, I need THCA, and the guy's like, it's THCA, and the guy's like, no, but I need it. I need to have it. It has to be this, and it's like, dude, it's THCA. Here's a piece of paper. It says THCA on it. There you go. Go fucking do it.
A lot of those pieces of paper are fake. Right now,
100% they're fake. But the whole point being is that are these guys, they know that they're never going to get checked. They're going to be driving their tractor trailer truck full of THCA from fucking wherever to wherever. They're going to have paperwork to show that it's what it is. And they're not going to, these guys just don't have the time, energy, or bandwidth to go and sit there and test every single thing and see what it is.
Yeah, the Highway Patrol of Bumblahoma, wherever they are, has the resources in the lab that they're going to take that out, and in 3 weeks, they're going to prove that it's not bullshit, that nobody cares. I don't think it's a loophole. I think it's the future. I think the Farm Bill, will
Legalized
be
weed.
the law of the
Well,
land.
It legalized weed. It was like just that it's taken this long for people to catch on, which is funny to watch because I know people who that's their entire business model. That's all they do, and they send it all over the country and all over the world, and they haven't had a single issue, and they are paying taxes on it, and they're just like do, and the locals are like, hey, this is great. Even like I was saying, there's a guy in Tennessee that I know who sells THCA to the sheriff, who comes to him and says, wow, this is so much better than that Delta 8 stuff, and he's like, yeah, it's a little better, right? And he's like, yeah, but it's not like that weed. Oh, it's not like bad weed. I was like, okay, whatever, dude, here, buy another pound. And the guy's literally buying pounds of weed, the sheriff, so without...
Oh my God.
So it's just like...
And he's saying that this is hemp. This is hemp.
Yeah, no, he's buying it as hemp, and he's like, it really works. It works so good. My wife loves it. Everybody loves it. And it's like, yeah, because
I got no more pain in my back when I wake
weed,
up.
because
Turns
weed
out
will
you
work.
like weed.
Yeah,
That's
weed
weird.
works.
Oh my God.
You know?
My God.
So that's kind of where we're at now. It's like there's a lot
Wow.
of like.
So it's just some strains are going to produce THCA.
Yeah,
Like
that's all, and
Well,
also in the processing too. It's like
pretty much
when you go cold.
Yeah, like pretty much any drug type strain that you're used to is producing THCA, and then I think some people who are actually trying to do it are trying to keep their grow rooms colder, harvesting a little earlier.
That's what I heard, is
they're
the
not
harvesting
getting,
earlier.
So they're not getting to conversion. But there's also a lot of people who are just making fake.
Yeah, it's mostly fake COAs.
Making fake
Right.
COAs and just shipping
Which has
that
been going
shit
on
out.
for
since day one.
ever, yeah.
Since day one.
Since the unicorn chasing.
You know, and it's very much like it's gotten to this weird phase because I was just in North Carolina. North Carolina has no medical, no rec, right? So but there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stores selling weed. And they're all
And it's all THCA?
It's all THCA. And
Texas too, right
Texas
now.
and in a very relaxed, very comfortable, very nice atmosphere, with a shop, with a dispensary, with a place to go hang out called, they have one called Little Amsterdam. You go up there, you're like, this is nice. Leather couches, all vibed out, and they don't have to follow any of the rules because they follow their own rules, and they don't, they check everyone's ID and they make sure they kind of run it like a normal thing. They're not trying to push it too far, but at the end of the day, you look at the weed and you're like, that's fucking good weed right there. Like, that is good weed. It's not. And then there's other shops that are selling hemp because they don't know that there's this whole other world out there. They're just.
When I went to Champs for Yo Tips and saw the 40 fucking Delta Schwaggle vendors, and unfortunately they sell it all. But I saw what they were calling Delta 9 flower. Fuck if it wasn't weed. Okay?
Yeah.
And it wasn't mids. It was good weed. Okay? It was terpy. It was sticky. It rolled the same way. It smoked the same way. It had the same effect. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you use the word loophole, and everybody uses the word loophole. I don't think it's a loophole. I think it's going to be the how we're going to conduct
But do you think
things.
laws are going to catch on and try to?
Apparently, the lawmakers have kind of caught on,
Yeah.
and they might there was some articles saying they might change it. And then
Nobody's touching it right now.
It comes down to can they even remotely enforce it? No. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing
I just feel bad for legal operators that have been doing it for.
I kind of do and I kind of don't at the same time.
10 years.
Part of me is sort of like, hey guys, you should have just been doing this yourselves.
Really?
You know what I mean?
So
I see both sides. Ugh.
Adam moved to Amsterdam in '88. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So didn't come
89.
back to the States. 89. Sorry, I don't have every
89
facet of
to
your life
2010.
committed to memory.
Oh, he's 61 all of a sudden.
He came back to the States because we started this legal program. And he can say it as well as I could. So many of the early decks you saw from these cannabis businesses that wanted to do something in this industry would make these 10-year projections on wholesale prices. The industry's a minute and a half old. 10-year projections? It's not. There's no way it can ever be accurate. And then they would say, wholesale will be $4,500 a pound. And you go, you're out of your fucking mind. Look at the sugar industry. We were just talking about sugar.
Yeah, it used to be worth gold, and now it's worth pennies.
Pennies. So that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be all grown on the equator. Is there going to be boutique cannabis?
And is sugar not more labor-intensive than cannabis even? Like, Jesus Christ, it's just hardcore.
No, it's. I think it's almost the same now. They've gotten such the processing down to a science. When I did that consulting job for MyEquez, they have it down. The only unknown is the farmer. That's why they don't own any of the farms. They just own the seed, and they provide it to the farmer, tell them when to plant, and then they come harvest the sugar, and that's it. And that's how it's done. So that's how the cannabis industry. There'll always be boutique gardens. There will always be this type of flower. But the overwhelming majority of cannabinoids will be mining for milligrams somewhere. So it will be some version of the Farm Bill. And then Delta 10, have we even discussed that one yet? It's just bad. It's bad. Vinny.
Haven't heard
acquired.
anything positive about it.
Really, the only argument for any of these things is being in illegal states. You know what I mean? That's the only argument I ever hear from people is like, oh, well, Delta 8's the only way I can smoke anything because everything else is illegal here.
Right,
Which is like,
yeah.
And I don't think that's a good argument, and it sucks that they even have to.
Well, and then to go back to the one that people should just 100% stay away from is because it's only usually in gummies because you're not even supposed to vape it or smoke it, is the THCO, the acetate, and that's like definitely not made for Vinny's right. Yeah, Vinny tried a gummy. Vinny tried a gummy, and he was toast, right? I mean, you like lost.
I ate 3 of them.
Yeah, well, there you go. But still, even
Wait, yes, I had one at Champs a couple years ago, the THCO, and I have a really high tolerance, so I was okay, but the girls I was with were not okay. They had to go back to, like, they had to cancel their entire plans and, like, leave the convention center and go back to the hotel room and, like, sleep it off.
It
so
hits you hard.
And so back to your, you have concern, empathy for the cannabis businesses that are in business,
right? But also interest in where, what also the plant is providing us.
I love all of that. I want everybody to succeed, but anybody who got into the farming part of cannabis had to look at the rest of the agriculture industry. This country fucks farmers. It doesn't care about farmers. It pays them not to grow things, So why did they think cannabis was going to be any different? Because it had this mystique and this glory of, being that one-man show or one-woman show where you did the whole thing. You were the grower, you were human resources, you were the trimmer, you were the salesperson. It's not that way anymore.
Sorry. He's always trying to make a deal.
So that, that's where we are. So
it's going downhill.
So definitely a thumbs down on everything except for we do like the spirit of the THCA in the non-medical states and the non-rec states that actually are taking a stand in a weird way, without yes, it sucks for the people who put millions of dollars into their businesses, but in those places, those don't even exist yet. So it's kind of nice because it almost keeps out like the True Leafs and the fucking other groups that we really don't need to see in those places, because they'll probably be the first ones in any of those states because they've been, I'm sure, watching from afar. And if it's like New York, kind of. There's over 3,000 underground spots, right? Bodegas and shops and things. And
McCarter just got back from New York.
Oh, you saw it. And some of them are really nice.
They're trying to shut them down. We walked by some, and they had just, excise had just come, taking people away in handcuffs and put up big. And this is in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn. Yeah,
because I was just there too, and it was the same thing. Like everybody was talking about it. Everyone's like, "Oh, dude, just like a week ago they started, or 2 weeks ago," And it was like, but some of those shops. Like a lot of people they would go every day and pick up their weed, and they were under the assumption that it was legal or it was a real one because they had run it so professionally.
Wow.
And then they got there, and they're like, "What happened?" And they're like, "Oh, this is fully illegal." Like, this was illegal? Like, I brought my grandmother here, and people just because they had such really nice fucking places, because they were just thinking, "Hey, we're just gonna run with this," and people were putting a shitload of money in. With the anticipation that they would come in and be like, "Hey, you're doing this right, so we'll just grandfather you in," which kind of is, in the long run, what's going to probably happen anyway, because there's only 12 licenses in the whole fucking thing. It's like crazy, or there's millions of people,
and they figured out how
over 1 million people per license in the daytime when you got a full population.
They figured out how to enforce it too. I was talking to Rosendogs. They don't threaten jail; they threaten your bank account. You get closed the first time.
Seize all of your money.
That's it. You get closed the first time. You come back to that location and open up again. They're going to take everything you own. Anything that they can find, they're taking it. That's just the way it is. And that was
some government shit.
It's
the worst day of my life.
New York built this situation they're in. They created the situation.
They fucked themselves.
Yes, they had the greatest. Out of the gate horse. The bell went off, the doors open. Oh, New York is way in front. We're not going to create any new laws that you can smoke anywhere. We've already said you can smoke tobacco. That was game changing to me. We flew to New York right away. Started walking around. I didn't want to do it. He kind of tricked me into walking in front of cops with it, but it's I want to say
liberating.
It's free. Yes, that's it. It's such a freeing feeling when you felt like you were like their prize for so many years. So and then they didn't issue a single license for 18 months.
I know, it's so dumb.
They kind of like, I don't want to say tricked or misrepresented their growers into growing what did they say, 750,000 pounds?
I think You're gonna lose your I thought it was 300, but maybe a bit more.
How about, okay, it was a fuck ton of weed that couldn't get sold because it rotted on the shelf right.
No, but the worst part was when I saw the farmers who were like, "Oh yeah, come on over here, I got it over here," and then you saw them open up a barn. There's a pallet, and then there's just buckets on a pallet in a unheated, in like an uninsulated barn in the middle of the summertime. You're like, "Well, that's fucking. I would hate to open that thing up. I'm sure it's like hay on top of it. Like if you're lucky, you're gonna get a smell of hay out of that. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
But that's
the end of that
assuming
crop.
that was actually the crop. When I think about it, if you were a New York grower who put some thought into it, you went out the back door, you bought some hemp, and you just put the hemp in there, and it became hemp. It's not on camera.
Because you couldn't sell it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd it matter? And you let the hemp go bad, but you
Yeah.
you totally
You think that
tradition.
happened? Do you think that actually? Oh, you think somebody thought of that?
Shh. Mark, edit that out. We have 20 seconds.
Damn,
before
you
it
better
comes
hurry up
out.
because we just created another $1 million empire.
Well, it would make me mad too if no one like pressed it into rosin. It's like
No, it did.
they did. Okay, I'm
Why-
like,
why
come
wouldn't it?
on, let's make some rosin here.
They all claimed it went bad. No, but it didn't go bad.
I don't know. When I saw these farmer guys, I'm pretty sure they didn't have a clue. They were just thinking they were sitting on meal. They probably didn't do that because they probably literally thought this is worth so much money. And if you or I were coming, you'd be like, "What is that? That's like a doorstop right there. That is not."
Feed it to your cows.
For sure.
Yeah, feed it to your cows. Well,
Basically, hay.
yeah. I mean, it would be great.
So what were you doing in New York when you were there?
Oh, it was sad actually. We were there for my my cousin's. It was a celebration of life. It
Oh,
was a
that's okay.
memorial.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it wasn't business.
Yeah. No, it was sad, but.
So you family? So you're from? Where you from? East Coast? Where you from?
Oh no, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh.
But
Most dangerous city in America.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I think it's the number
It
one,
is
right?
in the city. Yeah, it's really bad. I'm from the suburbs, though. You know, obviously.
Obviously.
Look at me. I'm obviously.
St. Louis. All right.
Yes.
So that was it. Just those 3 questions on the deltas.
No.
Oh
What else
no,
we
no,
got?
no, no.
That was her first question.
That was my
there we
first
go.
question.
Okay,
Okay,
we're
so
ready.
next one. And
Now, are these
actually,
questions that people ask you to ask us, or is this just your own questions?
These are like my own questions
okay.
and things I think about and want to ask other people in the space.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right. So next one, it actually has to deal with the smoking and driving that we touched.
We would never do that.
Go to commercial. Go to commercial.
I'm all for it.
Since
Go to commercial.
Dabex
I already
fits
have my answer.
right in
I got
the
my
cup
answer.
holder.
I got my answer. Yeah,
I forgot to
that's
mention
one.
that it was
Yes.
my
No, I have
limo
my
driver
answer.
driving me.
well, wait, I haven't even done the
No,
question
I got
yet.
the answer though. I already got it.
Let her ask.
Yes.
Let her
Just
ask.
take your test high,
no.
and then they give you a rating. Like he can smoke this amount.
That's how I did at my
That's
job.
the way it should be.
I showed up my
Like,
job
That's
high as
kind of
fuck.
smart.
Because we know that smoking weed it does
Right.
not make you a crazy driver. It makes you actually a more concerned driver, and it actually makes you drive slower. Because I know for
Yes.
a fact it takes me longer to get home. than it
Noobs
does
might
to
have
get
a
here every
trouble
single time.
doing
When I'm going home, I'm like, holy fuck, it's taking me a long
No,
time.
we're
to
not
get home.
supposed to say that anymore now
What?
because they're using that against us
Yes,
to say
they
that that's
are.
the reason why accidents happen.
They're
go so
saying
slow?
you have a slower
Yeah.
reaction time.
No.
So actually, to bring this full circle,
Going slower.
I just did a campaign with the Colorado Department of Transportation to advocate for not driving while high.
Oh, look,
And
he's leaving.
I-
He's leaving.
and
He just
I-
left. He just lost our.
And that's incredible.
That was
Never
great.
seen him-
Good for you, Telly. Good for you, buddy.
And I've gotten so much hate in the comments. And people are like, they don't have any way of testing it, kind of what you're saying, like with a DUI, you
well,
know.
I can
Yeah.
tell you that when I lived in Holland, right, in 1995, I believe it was, or maybe 94, 95, America put together a program. They wanted to study this, and they couldn't do it in America because it's so illegal. Hey, guess what? If a bunch of us go to Amsterdam, we could do it over there. So of course it was just an excuse to go to Amsterdam and hang out for a month and do this test. But they set up a whole set thing there, and they got people to get high and do this and do all these different tests. And after spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on this, the final conclusion was that you drove slower and you missed more exits. And that was it. So everybody, I was like, that's it? Yeah, they missed
No
exits.
accidents,
No
no
accident.
deaths.
There was no accident. It was just they drive slower And oh no, this is what the even worse. It was like they drove so good that they were like because everyone was so overly cautious.
Everyone's so paranoid.
They never hit nothing, and so they were like, that's why the police profile you if you drive really good. Because they think you're high, because you're obviously high, because you would be way more.
Yeah, that's why you guys gotta be kind of loose about it.
You got to be a little bit loosey goosey, because if you're not, if you're all just like, yeah, I'm nailing this, I'm in this,
That's a perfect left turn right there.
That guy is way too.
Yeah.
He's obviously high on marijuana.
Yeah, that guy.
He's driving normal,
Yeah.
at the right speed.
Exactly.
He's not because you got to do the 5 miles and over.
Yeah.
A little bit of like lean in your.
Right.
You
Lean
gotta
I do
back.
prefer 5 miles.
You got to
per
lean
hour
into
over.
the into the seat a little weird at an angle,
Yeah.
and then you got to make sure you have a big gulp in your hand and a fucking
Yes.
vape pen. And then
Sometimes sometimes I'll put my foot up. Does anyone else like put their foot up on the?
I don't go that high up. I do over on the far left.
Oh yeah, it's comfortable.
Kelly points out that the guidelines for pharmaceuticals are like, if you feel impaired, don't drive.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's true though. There's no
Kelly
like,
for the win.
There's like no
Kelly's
like
on it.
Yeah, Kelly is on it. But
You can
That's
join
so
us. You can join us
interesting.
That was a good question.
That's so interesting. So wait, would y'all agree with that? Like just
I
if
think
you feel too high,
Hey, Mark.
like
Oh yeah, I mean,
if you feel
that's never gonna happen. But yeah, sure.
So-
like where
we got-
what about
we got-
newbies? Like
We got somebody in the chat that needs to in the Zoom call. He's got to bounce in. Let's pull
we
that.
got it.
oh,
Who's in?
come on, Mark.
Harvey Richard.
Who? Where?
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, Mo.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Oh, my favorite
I,
birthday.
I found some
He's gotta
people for
He's
you.
got to unmute himself though.
Unmute yourself, Mo.
Unmute.
How many times you been on the show?
Come on, dude.
Well, I don't do voices. I just do the.
That was a musical piece.
So Mo and Adam go back like 60, 70 years.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the womb.
I always say I was. He was like I was there when he was. I was there because I like to emphasize I'm older than him, even though it's like 6 months. But you know what I mean. I was there at his birth.
Wait, when's your birthday, Mo?
December 17th, 1969.
Oh, you good. I'm younger than
In
you.
there in the right.
Wait, is this your
on the right-
brother?
Close.
No, basically, we're like the brother from another mother situation for sure,
Same mother, just not a biological mother.
right? Ace was just my mom was just out there and got to see, they were just hanging. How was that? That must have been fun.
It's good. It's great to see her. I just want to chime in because I started listening in and I heard you guys were talking about the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning, and then you said hemp went. And I was like, oh shit, the hemp went bad. I gotta chime in here.
Tell me, like as far as the whole the THCA situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
he's
just
being
the,
funny.
that line, the hemp went bad. That should be a T-shirt. I've driven. How many? We've seen.
That should be, or a bumper sticker.
The cannabis went bad and turned to hemp, you mean?
Right? Haven't we seen millions of pounds of bad hemp by now? I mean, literally millions and millions of pounds.
Billions.
Oh yeah, I drove past it in Oregon one time when I landed in Medford and I was going to see a friend's garden to figure something out with his thing, and on the way I just went past just field after field of just left in the dust hemp. They were like, fuck it, we're not even going to try to harvest it. And I'm just like, this is crazy, dude.
Wow.
Just like just farm after farm, and you could tell that they were just letting them rot on the fuck. It was kind of like late in the season, so there was like just kind of falling off off the bone basically. It was like, oh man.
That was probably like 2019 when CBD was still kind of high, but it was also farms nearby here in Ventura that had thousands, I mean hundreds and hundreds of acres. But the word was also that they had 2 or 3 acres right in the middle.
I know they're literally doing the corn trick back in the like. They're like,
Yeah.
dude, if you put it in the middle, they're never gonna see it. It's like, you ever heard of Google Earth, dude? They can just see everything.
Yeah, I know.
Satellites.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah,
Nancy
how's it
Reagan.
going? What's the word? You guys are
We're
talking
talking smack over here, basically.
driving stone. That's
Oh, driving stone. You know, no one does that, right?
So on that
Yes.
question, Emily McCarter, Jeff Gard,
Because they'll give you a DUI now. Like, so what do you think of that? Because they'll do a blood test.
let them do a blood test. It will come down in court to impairment.
right.
And that's what's going to happen. And Jeff Gard, who has been on this show, who's I've known for going on 20 years, would be eager to try a case for someone of a tolerance of.
I've been tested
You
for
know.
impairment on the side of the road before by a cop in Denver.
Tell us more.
So you did a roadside?
Yeah.
So let's just say that is a voluntary test that you consented to.
Wait, but did they smell weed and they said?
Yeah. Yeah, it was me and another breeder in the car.
Was this before they
An
can't use it
accident.
for?
What year is this?
You guys can go.
Yeah, it's on.
So he made you get out and do a walking thing?
Yeah, well, we had an accident, and so we were just chilling. I was just chilling on the side of the road.
I was changing.
Yeah.
This real story
Really,
comes out.
really, you were defending this, and this is how you're going to go with us? You're the worst witness
What?
ever.
No, I mean, dude jumped a red light on me, and I T-boned him. But
Oh.
yeah, he jumped the red. But I was just like chilling, and he basically just like did a little eye test, and I forget if he made me walk around or not, but I think he just looked at my eyes, and it was like pretty like pitiful, to be honest with you.
And then he was like,
no
"You're
way."
good."
Yeah.
But you just had a major accident. You shouldn't look normal.
Yeah, no shit, right? That's
Yeah,
really
totally.
weird.
Yeah.
I know all
Yeah,
about
but-
that.
Yeah,
your
he
emotions are all up
definitely,
and
he was some
down.
young cop that profiled me and the dude that I was with.
That's
and,
what happened
like,
with me too.
Yeah.
I had a young cop, and like he smelled weed, and like I was like,
Is this when you
he's-
passed the cop on the side road at
Back
75
up. So you
miles
could-
an hour?
He passed a cop doing 35 and a 35, going 75. Okay, and did the look at them like when I went around him, like I'm gonna eye fuck you. Got around, and then the lights went on. Okay?
Oh
So
my-
don't fucking do that.
Yeah, that's
Anyways.
ballsy.
With the
Now
joint in his
continue,
hand.
Mark.
With the joint in his hand.
That's ballsy.
No. Back in the day, like whenever they gave me a paraphernalia charge because that was more than the weed charge. It was like 2009 or something like that. So, but like it was a young cop, and because he smelled weed, and I was like, oh, that's a Red Bull, dude. I don't know what you're talking about, and then he's like, I know what that is, and I'm gonna, and it was just stupid.
So you gaslit the cop on the side of the road.
2 leaves of weed in a fucking like metal tin. You know what I mean? Like it was terrible. Anyways.
Did you have to do the walking?
No, they didn't do anything. I was like, so what's the next thing? He's like, we're just going to like give you a ticket and you get the fuck out of here. And I was like, okay. That sounds great to me.
What are you saying, Mo?
I got hit about 25 years ago for speeding. I've only had 3 speeding tickets in my life. And one time I got pulled over.
We're trying to have a show over here.
Drink your water.
Drink your
I
bong
got-
juice.
Me and my sister were smoking, and the car was just filled with smoke. And the cop walks up, and he's just cracking up laughing. And we passed him while we were driving. He's like, "You passed me." I was like, "Oh, sorry, dude." And he just let us go, gave us a ticket, let us go. And he was a cool cop. He wrote me up for less because he knew I'd get a gnarly ticket if he get with actual speed. But the second time on that same highway, I got pulled over by this female cop, and she smelled weed in the car. And then she started searching the car, and I also gave her I swear to God, whatever you're smelling is not in my car. Yes, I was smoking weed, but this was 25 years ago, before cops really smelled a lot of sour diesel. For one, they're like, "Oh, it's too strong. You've got to have pounds of weed in this car." I'm like, "No, I don't. I smoked a fucking joint an hour ago, and it reeks." But she wouldn't accept my sobriety, and she just kept giving me every test over and over again. I passed every test. And then finally, she's just sitting there. She's like, "All right."
She's like, "Do my taxes, or you're."
I need a foot massage.
The reason that everyone doesn't have to worry about it is because of the pharmaceutical. I don't know what the code is, but the reality is, people who use pharmaceuticals are allowed to be way over what you'd be technically the limit if you were non-oxy user. So you get a pass. It's not about how much is in your system. It's about whether or not you are safe to drive. And that's the whole point of the field sobriety test. The blood test will just say, yeah, this guy's got like 12 OxyContin in his body. But if he's a complete addict and he's on a doctor's recommend dosage, then he will not get a DUI if he passes the field sobriety test.
Even though you know he's fucking sloshed, no matter how you look at it, he's like, yeah.
You know how to ride it. Yeah.
He might think he's in control.
I mean, it sucks. But the reality, the only other comment I have is that edibles are different. I mean, that's the reality. Edibles are different. You don't want people on 1,000 milligrams of edibles driving, ever.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever. I very rarely have I driven when I'm on it, except
after
for
the 12-hour show.
Well, after the show, yeah, whatever.
What are you talking about?
There's a time I may have done it.
It's like
I have a high tolerance to edibles too, and I can eat a lot, but I just know that it's
but
such
not usually. Usually when I eat edibles, it's sort of like I'm not going anywhere. Cause...
They make me drowsy.
They didn't do edibles, right, Adam? They probably didn't when they did that Dutch test.
No. They were totally smoking. It was all joints. Because I remember the guys were super happy too. I saw a video of it, and they were like, "This is the best fucking job ever, dude. We just got to smoke weed and drive cars. It's great." They were just too happy and too good at their job, and everybody was like, "You guys are great. You're the best drivers we've ever seen." So it's like
so there's
this
a question.
Is not working.
So there's a question from McCarter here in the chat.
Oh.
Were the claims made in the CDOT campaign backed by any studies?
So I would have to look to look into it.
Yeah.
They tell people to go to the website. There's a website, Don't Drive High.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. Wait.
Genius.
No, wait. It's Drive. No, sorry. It's Drive High DUI.
Oh, that's even a little better.
So
that went
.com.
I like that.
So I think if you go to the
Copper.
website, it had like information and maybe studies, but I know they're claiming that it just like slows like your reaction time basically.
Okay.
And that it could put people in other like at risk.
What was that, Mo? Your mic cut out.
I was saying there's no data and I'm on this NIH panel for this study that we've been doing for 10 years here in LA on cannabis in young adults, and they tried to show this hockey curve of like, oh, it's all so bad, we get that, but there was no data before a certain point because no one admitted that they smoked weed. So, and it's the same. That's what the law enforcement people are saying. Like, well, yeah, we didn't have the data before to compare it to all those people that were DUIs and blah blah blah. They were really high and they didn't tell us. So there's not a lot of self-reporting around cannabis back then. So that is a fair, like, how do you create a 20, 30 year, study when really people have just been admitting to using cannabis for really maybe 5 to 10 years. But anecdotally, man, we've been on some long road trips and, the joints just keep coming and I've never had a moving vehicle.
Let's just say this. Let me change that for a second, Mo, and give you a different perspective, though, to play the advocate here. What about that person who comes to Colorado, who flies here from somewhere else, who rents a car, not familiar with the roads, certainly not familiar with being at a mile high. They didn't drink a bunch of water. They go to some rec dispensary. They don't get counseled at all. And they, in addition to eating that edible, they buy a few pre-rolls. They didn't smoke before, but the only experience they have is because somebody told them about it. And I think that's the sort of the margin that they're attempting to go after. I hope that as Schedule 3, if it does happen, and I'm not happy about it, that we will see some changes in the understanding of what impairment means under the influence or having cannabis in your system. I don't think there is an equivalency to alcohol at all. I know cops, the one in Oklahoma that I had that 30-minute conversation with, who was just... He was so on that you take one hit, you can't be driving, while he's telling me about his son who drives and is in the business, okay? Because he wanted to know what the Dab X was that everyone was walking around with, And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm tired of living in the closet with this. We need to communicate. Maybe he hasn't had a conversation with somebody who's just a few years younger than him. This guy'd been on, and we had a long talk. And anyway, I digress.
That's awesome. Good for you for being the one to try to shed some light and open his mind a little bit.
Well, he was at a weed event too, so it's kind of like, dude, come on, get it. It wasn't like we were just randomly talking to him. It's like you're inside a, look at.
Was this at, where was this, Champs or?
No, Cowboy Cup, Oklahoma.
Oh.
But I want the issue of impairment to be the discussion. I don't think it should be.
I'm thinking of coffee, we're so normalized. Like cannabis to me, in terms of regulations, falls in between coffee and alcohol.
Yes.
Right. It's something that everyone uses it. Regular users use it from the beginning of their day till somewhat towards the end of their day, and they're usually not impaired or out of control.
Yeah.
But that being said, nascent users can get way out of control.
Crazy
and
weekend coffee drinkers, those.
What was the word that he used last week, Adam?
What
the
word?
the two
The
you
word.
use alcohol and cannabis together? He had that word. It was like he doesn't
came up with a
double
good word.
vibe or something.
Oh,
or
no, crossfade.
crossfade.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good term. That was a
Yeah,
good, that was-
crossfaded.
yeah.
You guys you didn't know about that term?
Just didn't
I was
really
sitting there on camera,
didn't
learned
really
about
ever,
it the first
wasn't
time.
really like in our radar so much. Like,
They're too old.
too old.
We don't
Oh
drink.
my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, we don't drink alcohol, so there's a difference.
I know, but that was like something we talked about like 10 years ago in like college. Like,
You were so old.
We were not in
it was
college.
just
then.
like,
Sorry. All right,
like
everyone.
just like a
John Svoboda,
term.
by the way,
Hi,
from the
everyone.
Cannabis
Hi.
Chamber of
I was
Commerce.
waiting for you
Sorry.
to do that, Dave, because I didn't even want to attempt the last name. I was all
Svoboda.
You nailed
Hey,
it. You nailed
Svoboda.
it. Yeah, you nailed it.
You
Absolutely.
got you. There's a neat that. Come on, get out of here.
wait, and it's the Cannabis Chamber of Commerce?
Correct.
Sounds so official. Sounds so damn official.
I know.
Yeah.
What does that term mean when they say Chamber of Commerce?
I'll tell you
Lots
what.
of money
Bunch
in a
of
room.
cannabis
Bunch of
people.
cash in the
I've
middle of
heard
a
it.
room.
Yeah, I've heard that term
wish.
used for a lot of things.
No, for sure. I actually, up until February, I didn't really know what a Chamber of Commerce was
Amazing.
either.
What do you mean? That's where you go sit around and you go, I'm going to give $5 happy to John over there for what a great initiative he did.
Yeah, this is kind of true. There are local chambers of commerce that basically get all of the local businesses together for lunches and events to get to know each other and promote each other. We're a national organization for the cannabis industry specifically, and so trying to do the same thing at a national level, basically connect all the dots, connect the businesses, the people, bring new business opportunities and new connections into the industry. So as well as ushering new
We do all that, but we just don't put a name to it. That's
Right.
exactly what we do.
Right.
And
Someone write
we
this
don't get
down
paid for it,
your
though.
resume.
It's like, oh shit, we could have put a name to all that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
That's so
hanging out with
cool.
your homies and linking everybody up and watching everybody make money. And then when they don't make money, they blame you. And when they make money, they
don't
forget
blame you.
about you. It's
Yep.
like, Jam, how's that always work
Well,
like that? Right?
I joke all the time that we're hosting these networking events, and a lot of it is getting together and commiserating with other people in the industry because it's so difficult, and there's a lot of tears shed and hugs had, and I think the industry needs that, quite frankly, because we're not in bubbles here. We're all here to try to work together and elevate the industry as a whole. So that's the goal.
Well, let's get this out of the way since McCarter is asking the really tough questions.
I know.
Why do you have it as a happy hour sort of after
I was
alcohol?
throwing some shade that
Yeah,
it
fair.
was an alcohol
Yeah, fair.
event. Like, why not Tetra's now online?
Correct, yeah.
Why not have it at Tetra or somewhere where everyone can consume, and then you
Absolutely.
could still have like a couple beer, like whatever beers, some hard seltzers, regular seltzers if people want.
Absolutely. There's a desire for that. We've been pulling in crowds of like 80 to 150 people our last couple events here in Colorado, which is awesome. And we don't just go to bars. We've actually promoted restaurants, like a new barbecue restaurant, steakhouse. I'm sorry, steakhouse. There's a big difference between those two.
Can't say barbecue around here.
We have a barbecue on the other
Yeah,
side.
Yeah.
it's
You
definitely.
can do them here.
It's
That was easy.
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah.
There you go. But we were promoting the
Well,
steakhouse had just opened in the last 6 months, and they were looking to obviously, get exposure. So we brought 100 and so people to that
Nice.
place. So yes, I would rather have more options for cannabis consumption and cannabis-friendly events. One thing I've been seeing from other groups that are throwing networking events are bringing in the consumption buses and
There you
having those
go.
involved.
Yeah.
So super down with looking into that. We're just kind of getting things launched and
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. So growing from there.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
that was always the kind of pet peeve of all the Sensi events and all those kind of things, because it was like, I got all these people, and then technically you're not even smoking. It's like, well, that's kind of not what we're all here for. And it was so much, and then I'd see, because we had our spot right across from Endo Expo Center, so it was like kind of like, they go there 5 minutes and then come out and hang out with us.
Oh yeah, for sure. And truth be told, what happens inevitably at our events are people step right outside of the venue and end up, forming a circle and sharing a joint. That happens, and thankfully nobody's had any issues with that. Everybody's been pretty good with that. But that's kind of the situation. I actually just had a call with a couple of the consumption lounges that are looking to open in the near future here in Denver today, and
I'm very excited for them to open, as well as utilizing Tetra and other spaces, as well as private offices. Places like Grasslands and Hybrid Marketing have nice office spaces, so they've been offering.
I used to work at Grasslands.
So did I. So yeah.
Really? When?
For the last 3 years, I was the head of business development.
Oh, okay, cool. I was there the first year.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got them all their Instagram followers, basically, that they have.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We were the guys that always requested tickets to your events and then totally forgot about them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or there was too long a line or something like that.
Yeah, I was the guy throwing the event. So
nice.
It was a team effort, obviously.
Did you work with Courtney?
Courtney was not there when I was there.
Okay.
So I joined the team right when the pandemic kicked off. So it was summer of 2020, I believe. Yeah.
Well, Chloe is a good friend of mine.
Chloe's
so,
amazing.
Yeah.
We're all homies for sure. They're all homies still. I moved on, and I was kind of looking for my next thing, and this opportunity to be the executive director for the Cannabis Chamber of Commerce. I was actually recommended by Xavier Gillet and Bob Hoban for the role, and which is a huge honor for me. But like I said, I didn't know what a Chamber of Commerce was, nor did I know what an executive director was. But I quickly realized that instead of going into another brand or a company and elevating them the way I do, I could take this role, and if I do it right, I can truly elevate the entire industry and anybody else that wants to be a member of the organization. We're not a lobbying or a policy-focused organization. That's what really differentiates us from some of the other groups out there.
Thank God I would have fell asleep.
Yeah. You're right, man. You're right. Because like at the end of the day, what we want to be is like the fun organization. We want to hold fun events that are getting people together, getting people to collaborate and communicate and again, commiserate with each other. So
community building.
It is totally community building.
So commiserating, yes. Lots of that.
Yeah.
But no, for sure. It's the easy. It's one of the things. I'm not gonna say it's easy because everything has its own things. But cannabis events technically are the easiest because most people know why they're there. You know what I mean? Whereas if you get like, it's just weird. Like if you go to other things, you'll see how it's. I always tell everybody, we're lucky because at the end of the day, we always have cannabis, right? So it's like, even if it's the worst thing, even if the event, it's like, guess what? We got a fucking icebreaker right here. Because that's what happens when people get to, like, especially with the hemp events back in the day, because I was on a lot of the hemp things, and the people really wanted to separate hemp and cannabis and be like, we're not about that. We're doing this, and we're industrial. And it's like,
oh, that cracks me up.
But underneath it, they all like, technically they're just like pushing it away, trying to like not have that image. And the reality was, I always said, because I had a hemp store selling hemp products with seeds, I was like, dude, it's all, come on, you got to understand it's the same fucking plant, right? And you got to treat it the same way.
One and the same.
You can't be like this, because the reality is, what's weird is,
don't tell anyone.
hemp didn't even get the recognition. It should have been the one that led the fight the whole way, but in the end, it actually took getting cannabis recognized as a sort of potential thing to then allow hemp to come in. It was really weird. It was the completely ass backwards.
Especially since hemp was used so prolifically, like back in the day in the early 1900s. Every rope was made by hemp. Every industry relied on hemp, and then they made hemp illegal, which was ridiculous.
Right.
Which was from lobbying.
Right.
From actually the lumber companies.
Right.
Hired lobbyists.
Because of the paper, and
yes.
That was the main. I mean, because if you think of paper, you think of like people now don't read newspapers, and people now don't think about that. But the reality was, paper was like microchips. You know what I mean? Because it was where all the information was stored, and everybody fucking read it and transferred it, and whoever controlled the information controlled everybody. And it's like, it's all Hearst family and all these basic, and it's the same, which is happening digitally now. But it's just in that back in the day, it was like all in paper, and paper was all powerful. And then you had the people who processed it. So you have DuPont, and DuPont's going like, oh, dude, if you don't want to use hemp, because hemp uses a lot less chemicals to get it to the point where we need it, whereas if you use all this other stuff, we're going to use like 4 times the amount of chemicals, so let's keep that, fuck that. So everybody conspired against it, and they actually, the crazy part was is they did the behind closed doors. I think it was October 30th, 1937, and it was like at midnight. Like, how shady could you fucking get?
Wow.
Like, we're gonna midnight. Shall we make this illegal? Yes. And
like on Christmas night or something. On Christmas Eve.
It was October. No, it was October 30th, which is
something.
like well, it was the day before Halloween technically, but it was also that. It's in that zone where who's going out on October 30th at midnight. You know what I mean? To like battle against this. No.
And you had to go want to see whatever they were doing because it was a fucking telegraph.
But
back
weirdly,
then.
people trusted the government then a little more, I believe, too.
Yes.
They really thought they were doing the right thing because it was like,
So we can't talk about this without just looking up and going, Jack, thank you for doing the work before anybody ever thought about it. You were a pioneer, and we miss you. So,
Well, one thing that always blows me away is like the conspiracy is real and capitalism and greed is real, and that's kind of capitalism is the conspiracy more than there's a conspiracy is what I've always felt.
Yes.
It's like we all collectively make the wrong decisions over and over again, and we reinforce those wrong decisions, and so the man, provides products that are reinforce decisions. So anyway, but I'm fascinated how much fossil fuel or petroleum is used for the pharmaceutical industry alone. It's mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about what cannabis was as a medicine, and the fact that they're going to replace that medicine, not just just to keep it in our realm of a drug, to replace that with this other product, and at the same time co-opt this entire industry, and the idea that 2 or 3%, I think, of all the oil that comes out of the ground goes into drugs. I mean, that's insane.
Whoa.
That's like when you really think who was really like why they wanted to get rid of natural medicine of all types. It was just this big world of petroleum that we now are in, where wars are fought and businesses are created, and the whole world runs on oil. It's crazy.
And even more of like back in the day, it was even more rudimentary because they didn't realize you might not want to slather that all over your body because it's a little bit, but it's, and at this, even like hair products now, like I was talking to my guy that cuts my hair, and I was like, we were talking about just hair products or whatever, and I said like, hey, they used to have this one thing from Aveda. They had this Aveda stick thing that they don't make anymore. And he's like, oh yeah, they took that off the market because it had petroleum in it. And I was just like, really? I was like, okay, that seems like they was in everything at one point. But
yeah.
I guess they weaned it away as much as possible. Because
it's horrible for you internally, but the crazy thing is they put it in so many things that they say don't get inside you. And then 20, 30 years later, they say, oh, yeah, BPA free or whatever. The reality is it's like we're just covered with plastic all around us. And we all know it's just a bummer. It's all around a big bummer. And, it is a tragedy that hemp is now, piggybacking on cannabis. But it's all good, I think, ultimately. I mean, they're growing
no, they have
more
to
hemp.
they literally helped each other get to where they are, which is funny because, like I was saying earlier, hemp you would have thought would have been like front and center even in '93 when we started our shop in Amsterdam, and we were like, that was like the wave, that was like the big wave. Stevie D was doing Ecolution, we were doing our stuff in Europe, people were coming through, it was like, woo, this is happening, and a lot of shit happened, and then it just sort of like priced out and kind of like people weren't ready for it, and it was like there wasn't our whole niche was that we were getting all this hemp product and we're like, dude, this stuff sucks. Like, it's so unwearable. I couldn't wear it. So we ended up, having to like do our own line, which took a while. But once we got it dialed it in, it was like night and day because we were getting like literally potato sacks with fucking stuff on. Like, what is this? This is not like, remember that skunkware? Remember that stuff, Mo? Those two guys that came in, they called it skunkware, and it was like farmers sort of overalls and stuff. But it was like that real bad quality tie. It was like handmade hemp shit, and it just looked like you're literally. And then we had the French guy making shorts for Victor. Do you remember he made those shorts for Victor out of that like really thick stuff, and it was like 30-pound shorts, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, are you kidding me right now? He's like yes. And they were like, but the guy was a really good designer, and he made like super nice dresses and stuff, but it was still like, dude, we're not there yet. So hemp took a long time to happen, and then it really happened, and then no one cared. You know what I mean? And then everybody just went into fast fashion, and it got really like,
oh, I know, it's so terrible.
This is $1. This is $40. Which one do you want? You know what I mean? But this will last 100 times as long as this. And they're like, okay, that makes maybe more sense.
Think about how many people were in hemp and that were really stoners who just couldn't do cannabis, couldn't do marijuana. Similar, like, and it's interesting because like the trajectory on fiber hemp really was pushed by drug cannabis lovers.
Oh, totally.
And like if you look at like we consult for companies in Australia still, and it's medical over there. It's medical cannabis, like pharmaceutical controlled by their version of the DEA and the FDA, and you have to get a doctor to write you a prescription and your insurance pays for it. But it's still just weed. And what they don't understand is like we started the whole compassionate thing because we loved weed. We're compassionate as well. But the reality is like these tracks that we created were really just because we couldn't grow the plant that we wanted to grow. We couldn't sell it the way we wanted to sell it. We couldn't normalize it the way we wanted to. So we created alternate paths that became medical marijuana, became, the industrial hemp industry. But really, it was people who were early champions of cannabis.
Oh yeah, it was always. I mean, think about, like I was saying, like Stevie D, classic example. He was like the weed guy all the way through and through. You know what I mean? And then it was, and then he was just pushing hemp as hard as he could. And but at the same time, it was just like, with the second it opened up in California, he was there. And got as big as you could get in that side too. But it's crazy how it's poisoned. Like the whole industry seems to be poisoned at the well in a sense, as far as like all those the dreams we had of like, oh, if we could just have it in a cigarette pack one day, it'd be like that'd be it. You know what I mean? And now none of us want to see a cigarette pack with weed in it. Like, no, this is bad. Like you're like bad, go away. Like all
like
it's crossfading.
Well, yeah, we were crossing it. No, but it's like you definitely get what you got to be careful what you wish for, because the reality is like when we all thought legalization was the answer, now we're realizing like that's just killing it too. So it's like there's that happy medium that we all were in for a little while there, and we all loved it. This is the greatest thing ever. Like 2010, 11, 12 here in Denver was like outrageously going, like a trajectory straight up. Everybody's like, oh my God. And then, slowly the groups kind of formed, and then you never saw it. And now it's just like, the grind, you know what I mean? So
and now the pound is the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like, we all got what we wished for, and now
you changed the world, bro. That's the main thing. And I tell people that all the time, because I see a lot of people crying in their beers, and everyone's, having a hard time and a struggle, and the transition is really tough. Mm-hmm. But we totally fucking changed the world. For millions and millions of people. It's like the effort, the risks that we took, the trajectory that we stayed on, that changed it for everyone. And we get to tell our grandkids that we did that. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people back then when this transition happened.
So we're taking over the greatest generation of the world, right? Like
they
already claimed it, but we're like, no.
We're turning it over to Gen Alpha.
You guys turned into a bunch of boomers. Forget about boomer generators. We don't want our kids. Look at our kids. Our kids are amazing. Because that's what I think. I think the next generation is actually going to be even better, just because like we have fucked this up so bad. But then these kids are growing up in it now. Like my son was born 2012 in Boulder, so it's kind of like couldn't get more classic than that. So when he's 40, he's gonna be like, I was born the year weed became legal in the place that it became legal.
Oh my gosh,
dad,
that's
like,
nuts.
So it's just kind of like
Wait, what's your name again, kid? Yeah. Nick Dunn. Oh, the baseball player's kid.
No.
I heard that a lot today when I was promoting myself being on the show today.
Yeah, they were loving it. They were like, oh yeah. Go fucking.
I was at a game when he hit a home run a mile. I was like, I don't think that's the same guy.
So
amazing.
Circling back around.
Donkey, tell him the donkey.
Geez. Here we go.
Mike Denver got set off over here, and so I sent the website out to people and
set off on what, the driving thing?
Yeah, the driving website.
Oh, wow.
And
let's save it for Patreon.
Here we go.
He just says doubling the risk of accidents is pure bullshit, and he states.
Oh, so that's what they say? Is it doubles the risk of accidents?
Well, that's what he thought. What the claim he heard on the show here was.
We never said that.
No, I don't know.
You
maybe.
I don't know what I said.
But he said that if you factor in the increase of our population. He said if you factor in the increase of our population, that we actually have less accidents after legalization per capita after 2008.
Oh.
So, Mike
hey
Denver's
Mike,
there.
you get the Zoom from us every week.
Yeah, come in. Join us. Join the party.
5 minutes.
I'll send him the
us.
Zoom link if you guys want to.
So Mike Denver, by the way, just so you know, he's 6'8", 380 pounds. He was in jail for a long time for violently attacking one of our guests before he's on. No, he's like 4'2".
I was like, what are you talking about?
Don't go that way.
No.
Now he's coming on the show.
What happens when or if Adam
He's
Dunn
a great guy, very
charged them
knowledgeable.
out?
Vinny.
I wonder if that's the language they're saying on that website, though.
That's what I think he said.
drivehighDUI.com.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
It's too much of a downer for us to discuss now. How about we do it on Patreon and we talk about the chamber?
He just had to
right
go to his second job. He just wanted to state that.
Oh, good job.
Oh,
Good job.
what a guy.
Good second job, I should say.
A gentleman and a scholar.
Hell yes.
He's really smart, by the way.
No, he wanted. He's
got amazing hair.
He was like, I'm about to come in there and
It
then
flows and it's all curly.
He's been accused of it. Well, I won't even get into it.
Wow.
Kind of looks like a girl from behind. What?
Figures. I said, my mommy said liars can figure and figures can lie. So never trust the numbers. It's always a bummer. Anyway, I got to roll.
All right. Thanks for
Mo.
Love it.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, Mo.
What a
thanks.
guy. He's so knowledgeable.
Anybody else in Zoom? I
Mojave
gave it out to
Richmond from
everybody.
Agron.
Mo can't be the
Agronom-
Wait,
only
so
person.
he works in the cannabis industry in California?
They would have
Rob
showed
Clark-
up
He's Rob Clark's partner.
if they were
Marijuana
in
Botany.
Zoom.
You know Rob
From
Clark?
what?
Marijuana Botany. You know Rob Clark? Robert Connell Clark?
No, should I?
You should.
Uh-oh.
He's one of those guys.
Uh-oh, okay.
He's partners with
yeah.
Skunkman Sam. You heard of him?
Oh, I don't know any of these people.
Uh-oh. She's been crossfaded over here.
Oh, no.
We crossfaded her.
He's probably, she doesn't associate with
Can't
her
have crossfade
followers.
over here. We can't
So she has
crossfade.
6
No,
million followers.
stop.
So just so you, so
6 million followers?
No, I have 60,000
she just got it. Oh,
followers.
applause. You just got that
Oh.
badge.
Yes, I'm very excited. I just hit 60K on Instagram.
Nice.
Dig it.
Very exciting.
I've got
We're
2,400.
we're squeaking up. We're creeping up slowly, but, you know.
I probably have 60, honestly. I have not used
Hey,
the gram
it's
for
just,
personal
it's
reasons.
the long game. It's just
Yeah.
being
We're
consistent.
almost at 14,000.
Which y'all have been really consistent.
Well, that's
we
the
have
funny
to
thing.
be.
When we met at the Tailwinds launch party, and you were like, "Oh, I emailed Adam to get on the show," and I think I said, "Well, there you're wrong on both points right there." Okay, 1 email and 2 Adam to get on the show. So, but you were like, "Oh yeah, you guys have been doing the podcast. I need to learn something from you." And while we're standing there, I pull up your Instagram account, and it's like a really cold pool. And it's like, no, you have 60,000 followers. We ask you how to use social media to get out
Oh,
there,
yeah,
because
I'm happy to help.
what does it have anything to do with going, "Hey everybody, hit that like button," because we're really fucking, we tried
No,
it for 2
doesn't.
weeks.
We're the
It
worst.
doesn't. It doesn't.
But all those
honestly.
algorithms change anyway. They're like, don't do that, dude. Don't ever hit the like button. No one does it. Oh, you don't do
So
that.
wait, maybe
you're like, what? What do you mean? Like,
maybe she can help us.
So what you should do with all of these long form videos that you're making every week?
don't forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about
No,
it.
it's really easy.
Talk to
he
Mark.
can do it. He
Talk
can
to-
do it.
directly-
He just needs to take. You just need to take 10-second clips of
Oh.
like when Adam said.
Now he's just sitting on the merry-go-round all by himself.
Could have done it.
When Adam says like a 10-second clip of something
This has
really
come up a few times.
awesome, you just make that into a reel.
Oh, weird. That's cool. I made a reel one time and it never got posted. That's strange.
That's because we felt bad because we
Oh,
were
yeah.
making fun of the guy, and we know.
Oh, come on.
You need to be posting reels
I
like
know.
every day, every other day.
Yeah.
Every
Adam.
day, she said.
I mean, I know
Or
this.
every other day.
I know this on my personal
I'm the
account,
talent.
face to
I
face.
cannot be
Super nice.
doing the editing. Come on.
We are not.
No,
I'll
he
hate
does
myself.
the
It'll be
editing,
over.
and then he gives it to
I
you
begin
to
to hate
post.
myself more than my fans do.
Well, how did this happen?
Or gives it to you to post.
Yeah, again,
No,
it's
forget-
so. Let me
Treat
ask you
this like a concert. We just
No.
drop the mic and we
Everyone
walk away
wants
and
to
we're
do
like,
this
Let's
stuff.
go back in time. Okay.
Okay.
It's 2022.
So 2
years ago.
Okay.
Oh,
From-
someone in Zoom too.
From the middle of 2022 to the middle of 2023.
We're not going there
Just-
till Patreon if it's Mike
Hang
Denver.
on. Just on SoundCloud, we had 1.3 million plays. Okay?
Whoa.
Okay, but here, it gets worse. Then we did a special event with Cheech and Chong.
Wow.
And we agreed to have them upload it through their new Bowlmates channel through SoundCloud. Within 24 hours, our numbers dropped by 95%.
What?
And we went from 1.3 million to barely 300,000 for the year.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Uh-oh. Wait, is
Yeah.
it really him? It is him.
Who is that? Hello?
Hello.
Can you
Call
go?
back a
Can you
Patreon.
can you
You
go
gotta
in
do
front
that.
of a window?
This is Mike Denver.
Oh, he's trying to fight. He's trying to fight. Oh,
Can you just
Denver,
come back on?
Come into the light.
Get your medications paid.
First off,
now, are you
can we do
defecating
this
out
on
your anus
Patreon?
or
And if
out
you're
your
going to be on the
ears?
show,
Could this really happen?
lights and let's see your
not,
hair.
Not trying to fight or anything like that, but I just want to bring an honest conversation to the table and to think about driving while impaired critically. I do think it's a really important thing.
Is that what's going on
but
here?
But I think it needs to be handled with actual facts.
That's great, buddy. That's really good. No, that's perfect.
Okay, so
Come on,
I'm trying to make a good point here. So if you all can just just think about this critically for just a second.
All right, we're thinking.
So when we were in the age of reefer madness and they used all these scare tactics and unfactual things, it actually, I think, does more harm than good. And so when huge organizations like departments of transportation make these claims about doubling accidents, I actually think it does more harm than good. Because people know that that's just not factual. There's no research that backs that up. There have been studies that have tried to prove if the slowed reaction times in cannabis actually correlate with more accidents, and that's provably false in all of the evidence that I've seen. And so when Department of Transportation, and it's not just Colorado, but other departments of transportation have tried to put this out, there's no actual facts behind that. And in fact, the research that was done here in Colorado actually shows, if you look at the number of accidents that happened before 2008, when medical really took off here, if you factor in the increase of population, we actually have less accidents on our roads after medical came down per capita. We had a huge increase in population during that time. And so, yeah, more people on the roads is going to correlate to more accidents. However, if you factor that in, we have less accidents on our roads per capita after medical and legalization. And so there's evidence that shows that there hasn't been an increase in accidents. In fact, there's been a slight decrease. And so I think the way that harm reduction in terms of...
You should email them this information. You should
say that one more time.
You should consider emailing them this information and sharing it with them.
So I have to be a little bit careful because I have associations and I know how departments of transportations work. And I will say too that anytime that you're looking at information, it's really important to consider any biases that organization has.
For sure.
And if you think about it, it's much easier for Department of Transportation to blame weed rather than actually make our roads safer, to put in infrastructure, more lights, to actually make our roads safer for the traveling public. So we have to take that with a grain of salt. And then we also have to consider our own bias, We are all very cannabis-friendly people, and we have to factor that in as well, and to have like a real honest conversation about it. I think we actually need to look at facts, and I was a little disappointed in the Departments of Transportation's handling of that. If you scroll through their website, they also did a whole campaign that was pushed out through the Westward magazine here, and it's almost comical, the little characters that they have. They show them looking all fucked up and getting in accidents, and that's just not most people's experience with cannabis. And when folks see that, especially young people who are starting to learn to drive, they're going to be like, well, that's bullshit, as opposed to having a more real conversation about it and saying like, hey, if you do choose to use, make sure you're not feeling these effects. Make sure that you're aware of the possibility of slowed reaction times. But to make these bold claims of doubling the risk of accidents, and I wanted to clarify, that is what it says on their website. That wasn't something that was mentioned on the show.
Okay.
Look on their website, that's what it says. And then they put this bullshit bar graph at the bottom where basically they ask Gen Z if they feel comfortable driving under the influence of cannabis, and a certain amount of them, report and I feel like that bar graph in no way is correlated to an increase in accidents. They just slapped a bar graph on there. See, Gen Z says they're confident smoking while driving. And I think Mo made this point that, yeah, the older generations that were in that bar graph were probably less likely to report using cannabis just because they grew up in, the black market era. So I just wanted to come on here real quick and honestly not trying to argue, but just wanted to have like an honest conversation and think critically about where our information is coming from, how accurate it is, and what is the best route to harm reduction. And my personal opinion is it does more harm than good to make false claims about what is actually happening.
Yeah, because you lose the trust real quick because people can see through that. So then all of a sudden you're like, well, if they're lying about that, then they're lying about everything.
Yeah.
We thought you were going to call to wish Adam a happy birthday.
Yeah, you didn't even say happy birthday, man. You didn't.
Jeez Louise.
What the hell, dude?
What the hell? Huh?
Happy birthday, Adam. I hope it goes well for you. And to the guest, sorry I didn't catch your name, but I think that I'm not sure what role you had in this campaign was. However, I just would like to say that I appreciate you bringing an honest conversation to the table about what impairment road looks like. I really do appreciate that. And I want to thank you for putting that out there. And I know how it is working with large state or governmental organizations. I know you didn't write that whole thing. And even if you were to make a point like I'm making here about reduction in accidents per capita, the Department of Transportations are probably not likely going to put that out there because they don't, they have a face that they want to put on, and and I think that honestly, departments of transportation have a big role in making our roads safe, and it's expensive. There's a lot of infrastructure, and I think they have more to do with traffic safety than cannabis. So I appreciate you bringing up the conversation, and I hope that you continue to do that work, especially when it comes to harm reduction, especially with the changing landscape with psychedelics throughout our state. I think these are honest conversations to have, but we need to approach them with facts. And it does more harm than good, to make claims to blow things out of proportion. So that's kind of what I wanted to say here. And I do really appreciate you bringing that on this conversation out. And, because that's part of our own bias, When I was a daily cannabis smoker, I was like, I'm fine. And, I'd never had an accident, in my life, smoking weed the whole time, learning how to drive weed from fucking Netherlands down the mountains into the Front Range. I from 16 to 30, I did not drive high and never had an accident, And I know that's anecdotal, but I do think it is an honest conversation to have, especially when people don't have a high tolerance, if they're coming from a different elevation. These are like important conversations to have.
You understand, just so you know, Mike, I appreciate the position you're taking, but she's a cannabis activist who was getting involved in a campaign. She read a card, has nothing to do with any of the politics behind it. So I think you've made your point, and you still have a moment to sing happy birthday to Adam if you want.
You have to do it.
And then enjoy.
Sham, Dave,
but thank you.
The pressure on. No, it's good. No, I think you definitely hit a lot of good points there.
We should hire this guy.
I know he's real professional. He's so professional.
Yeah.
You're way too professional for our show, though. That's the only problem with you, Mike Denver.
Are you okay with not being paid if you come to work for us, though?
He already knows the pay structure. He's already seen it. He's seen it work. He's seen it from the inside.
So
thank you. Always love having. And if you have time
later, for work.
if you have time and you want to sneak away from work, come on to Patreon. Come on to Patreon.
Yes, and if you want to see the campaign, you can check it out on my Instagram. It's McCarter Gets High. Is my Instagram account.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I'm not on social media, but I appreciate the work you're doing. It sounds awesome, and maybe I'll swing by. I have to run to my second job now. So peace and love. Maybe I'll swing by and sing you happy birthday, Adam.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Later, homie.
Thank you.
Nice.
Good to hear from you, dude. Take care.
Oh, now we get to see the hair.
I know, right?
Oh,
that was weird.
At the very end.
At the end.
He wasn't really letting it loose, though. He had it all pulled back, so he's got to let it loose.
I told him to go in front of a window. He didn't listen.
No, he
didn't want to.
I like the ominous.
He didn't want to be seen.
Although he's been on the show a gajillion times.
Oh, really?
He can go in the back.
Yeah, let's go to another show.
And
you just go Mike Denver, boom, other show. Busted.
Okay.
I'm just going to go pee.
Yes, you know where it is.
Yeah.
Vinny, make sure it's unlocked.
Okay.
Pee break.
Pee break.
Uh-oh, she says she doesn't know the rules.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off too.
What?
I'm outta
You
here,
can't never
dude.
leave.
I'm
Never
gone.
leave the table.
I'm sorry, BRB.
We want her to come back, so be nice.
BRB.
So now we can.
All right.
John Svoboda pronounced it correctly.
Nailed it.
So,
We know about the chamber. We know about the cannabis commerce.
you know how many people have taken great ideas from us and turned them into even better ideas? Like MJ BizCon, while they were sitting here fumbling around, we talked to them. Then all of a sudden, there's a smoking area out front.
Amazing.
All of a sudden, there's one roped off on the side,
Yeah.
at night. They take our advice. We can help you.
Oh, no.
We
I
can help
appreciate
you.
that.
Okay?
Yeah.
But we're not giving you any more free advice on this show because that's our forte. We just give it away for free, and you go, what the fuck do I need them for?
Oh, no. I would never say that. I always appreciate free advice. Why not?
Of course. Well, I mean, and the cool part is that, like, if it's doing cannabis events again, like we were talking about, it's like it's such an easy sort of vibe, and a lot of weird shit can happen, and a lot of big stuff can happen, where you're just like, holy shit. Like, when we had the old spot, because it was around, it was like 2012 to 14 at the Hood Lab, and we just had like endless stream of like craziness coming through. And when they did we had Chloe, we had Rob Corey cutting the ribbon, right, as we opened up on the 2012 with Chloe on the side there, with Bloomberg, CNN, and everybody in there. We had 5 different people in every corner of this place, and here I am in my little spot, and then my friends are calling me from Europe going, dude, I think I just saw you guys on Bloomberg or something. I was like, oh yeah, it was crazy. It was just like that. There was so much focus.
Yeah.
And then it all now it's just whatever state's coming online for about a week.
But we have somebody here who represents the cannabis business community. I would love to hear what they're talking about with the threat of Schedule 3 coming in.
Yeah, that is true. Most of them do love it for the tax breaks and things of that nature, and for also the opportunity for new capital to come into the industry. That everybody's pretty cash strapped at this point, so the race to the bottom is real in the mature markets at this point. And it's funny because I also talk a lot to the new markets, the emerging markets or whatever, and there's a lot of enthusiasm and joy, and it's like what I saw in Colorado years ago and in California right before they made a switch, and then it's like, oh boy, give it a year, give it 18 months, and the race to the bottom will eventually start happening.
I tell everybody it's just like it's kind of like that, the technology, how it doubles every so many times. It's the opposite with cannabis, where it gets tighter, like the joy level is reduced every time. Like first it was a year or 2 years, then it was 6 months. I feel like it's almost like 3 months, and people already feel it because the realization comes in because now the grind is starting, and then the consumers are already bitching, and they're already looking at the taxes that they're paying, and they're already, oh my God, I could have got from my friend. And there's all this comparison going on, and then the black market is so strong now.
Traditional market,
legacy market.
Market.
Whatever.
But how do you?
It's so strong. It's right there waiting.
All that being said, how do you reconcile the fact that we had on Tony Manitti, who is like one of the only pharmacists who owns a pharmacy with a DEA license right next door to the dispensary he owns, and he claims that Schedule 3 doesn't have a non-medical form. That once, if they go Schedule 3, that recreational cannabis will be governed by Schedule 3, which everyone is going, yay, but that means they can't be in business to take advantage of the 280E relaxation.
Yeah, there's that fear out there, but then there's also the thought that they may just well leave it alone and let the states continue to decide. I think
in the meantime they'll definitely do that. But the problem is that all you have to do is sit back and just wait for it to ripen to the point where it's like they're just dying to get gobbled up, which they already are. Yeah. And most of these MSOs are just waiting for this. That's the whole crazy part too, is like, we don't realize how lucky we are that it's so compartmentalized right at the moment, because the minute it is just one big giant free for all, it's going to be no way that you can even step in that arena, because you're like on a going from a little country road to a freeway. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and you're trying to
for
cross that freeway.
We
somehow.
could get a lawyer on the phone, and they have 3,000 of them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's incredible. Even the conversations I've had in the last couple of weeks, and I've heard others having with some of these incredibly large and well connected and well funded companies outside of the traditional cannabis industry. They're curious. They're asking questions, and they're interested. For example, I spoke to a Fortune 52 company, insurance company, very, very large. I won't give out their name just yet, but their underwriters just
Liberty Mutual.
No.
State Farm.
They just their national underwriters just okayed them to go into the cannabis market and start approaching cannabis businesses, which is kind of high risk still, because if they're still a cash only business, they can't necessarily work with the business, but they can work with the employees, et cetera, was the pitch that I was receiving. Yeah. But the thing is, if a national, an incredibly large insurance firm is now like, wait a second, let's have a look here at the cannabis industry, that just tells you the types of eyes that are coming this way quickly. And I have no idea how that's going to change things. Quite honestly, I don't think a lot of people do. And it's
if I had to rub my crystal ball,
yes, please,
I would
Balls,
say
it's balls.
my crystal balls,
Sure.
double dongs, whatever it is. I will say you're right.
Yeah.
Right now, they will probably go Schedule 3. They will probably leave all of the rec alone, and they'll wait for some massive. I hate to use the word catastrophe. Massive event, another lockdown, and then they'll go. Only dispensaries that can stay open are med, which are governed by Schedule 3, which is they're going to take over. It's going to end med across everything. It'll be rec versus the pharmaceutical med side. And yes, they will start serious drug developments, which hopefully really do benefit seriously sick people. I think of what Dravet's syndrome will happen in 20 years. It might be a thing of the past. They just give a cannabinoid derivative, whatever they create.
There's so much to learn.
But for the meantime, they'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
But it will be like what Adam said. It'll be like a lobster in a cold pot.
Yeah.
They're just going to wait to turn the temperature up because the pharmaceutical industry has way too much to lose if they let it continue.
Yeah.
They need to get their
plus
hands
they've
on
seen,
it.
like everybody, the Canopies of the world and all these other companies that could just like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And it was like hasn't been one success story really.
No.
It's like crazy how the landscape is what's that one, Atria or whatever? What's that one big giant one that's going to be the biggest one soon? Like Atria or Atria.
Yeah.
Like you should know this business.
I know a lot, but I don't know.
Well, that's
every
the one
of
that it's like them and one other one will end up being.
Mark's looking it up.
They're Vanguard backed or something.
Oh, for sure. There's going to be so much more money coming in because I used to work for 3 of the top tech companies in this industry, and they were all VC backed, and part of my job was trying to do the work to get the Series A raise or whatever it might be, and it was nonsense how hard of a job it was to raise what in the grand scheme of business was not a lot of money, right? And that's because the investors quite frankly didn't have or weren't willing to put a lot of money into the industry. And so now, as this rescheduling is happening, and let me be very clear, most of the businesses that I know and work with, and me personally, we would much have it be descheduled rather than rescheduled.
Right.
That being said, as it is, people are looking now at the outside at these large investors that can come in with 50x or 100x what these smaller VC firms could come in with, and it's like, how is that going to change the face of the cannabis industry? And I again would love to hear a crystal ball if you have it, but it's I think right now what we're trying to do as an organization is embolden and strengthen the cannabis industry and the community around it, so that we can help each other weather some of these rough waters, or maybe miraculous occurrences that happen in the near future. Who knows? I'm not the financial analyst here. I'm not sure, but I'm very curious on. Due to the fact that I've heard some of these incredibly large companies inquiring about the industry to some of the most prominent industry leaders in our industry, that makes me say, wow, so there's some big eyes on our business right now. So
no, I was thinking of Tilray. That's why.
Tilray. Oh gosh, they're scary.
Yeah.
Another behemoth. It's like Jesus.
So then really does the landscape change from a business perspective, where it becomes that what we've talked about for years about mining for milligrams, where they'll have huge mega there'll be farmers on the equator that will just grow the overwhelming majority of cannabinoids for the nutraceutical market, edibles market, all the things that you almost probably wouldn't smoke. And then you'll have the boutique, the high-end, the flower, high-end concentrates that'll still be grown the same way.
Yeah.
Until they want to push the button. That's what it keeps coming back to, that we can fantasize all we want. Once we give them control under Schedule 3 and the pharmaceutical companies paying the $500 million, right, in the last 24 months.
Correct, yeah.
To Congress, $500 million. I worked it out. It's $1.29 million per elected official. Come on.
That's a good amount.
A good amount.
Perfect amount.
Oh,
that's about just enough to nudge them over the edge.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I
Chat's
guess.
saying industry in its current state is just consumed by data, which makes it nearly impossible to manage. Too much noise, too many cultivars, too many. The next big event, like Dave says, will be us consolidating the supply chain for them even more.
Well, who agreed with me? I like them. Who are they? Are they a hater of mine normally?
Mojave Richmond.
That's Mo.
Oh, that's Mo.
The smartest guy in the room. There you go.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, but he's not a hater. I wanted to convince a hater to come on today.
Are you sure? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So how do we reconcile that? Because then what if the pharmaceutical companies start to figure out a way to take control of that?
I thought they already tried to patent.
But they haven't paid anybody yet. They've only paid a few congressmen. Wait till they pay everybody.
No.
They're worth
Wait till
billions.
everyone's paid off.
I mean, there's a pharmaceutical company right here in Boulder, that I drive past all the
Boulder,
time.
boo.
Boo.
Oh, sorry.
Wait. I love Boulder. I mean, it's a Boulder bubble, but.
I know. That's why I lived in. When I first came here, I was stuck in the bubble because I was over in Golden, and I was like, "So Golden's close enough." You're like, "Hey, we'll just go down there." And I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of here." That's why we got our first place in Denver, and I was like, "Nice little grime, little vibe."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't live in the city. Of
More
Boulder.
real life.
But then Denver even went down. It's like, God, better to be in the bubble now than.
Yeah. Well, I'm right outside the city of Boulder. I'm in unincorporated Boulder County.
There you go.
Ooh, at
So
the top
that's
side there, or
that's where
by
to
the
be.
Nuclear launch spot there with. That was
Rocky Flats?
Where all at the north end. You got
North
that,
side, the silos.
Yeah, that's where everybody was growing. And that was all our grows were up there.
Yeah.
It's funny. It was like
Yeah.
everybody.
My
was in
friend
the same
has that
spot.
grow,
We're like,
Loyalty Farms now.
Are you talking about the one on 36 North?
Yeah, the one right there.
We
With the
looked at that
silos.
14 years ago.
That's so funny.
Raytheon still has to keep an office there.
Everybody was there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny.
They have to maintain it in
I was there when
perpetuity.
they were open
Because of
blasting.
silos
I was there when
that
we
are
were
up
all
there, or
open
what?
blasting in the
Radiation.
back behind it.
Oh my
So
god.
everyone had their tent set up behind the thing, and
Stop.
you were just like, oh my god!
Wow.
And you look at it, come at the end of the day, there's 1,000 cans, and it was like
Ah!
we're still in that zone. Master cases up, stacked everywhere. It was fun.
But how great an arc is that they built
What was the
the
Russian guy's
most
name?
gross weapons that we ever invented involving nuclear, and now there's cannabis grown on the same property.
Yeah, for a long time now.
Yeah. So I think I'm okay with that. I mean, as long as it's safe, somebody,
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't it cleans the soil, correct?
It is
sadly, it's indoor grows.
Yeah, it does. It is.
Okay.
It's a remediation.
Yeah,
plant.
Got it. All right. Got it.
Yes. Speaking of that, could I get a dab?
Of course.
Thank you. I'm more of a dab,
just you got it.
I
We
almost
have
brought
lots of those.
my ball vape because I've been doing a lot of like
They don't sponsor the show, so good.
convection. Yes, I know. But I mean, instead of combustion, I've been trying to do a lot of like the volcano, you know.
Great product. The
For me,
Stores and Bickle,
sublimation technically is what it would be called.
Once summer comes around, I start smoking more joints. But I'm normally just a dab guy.
So if there are people out there that like vaporizing, I'll give it to you. Here's the secret right now. Just go look up Milwaukee 2000D heat gun. It's a heat gun with an on and off switch and a variable temperature 1 to 10.
Yep.
Just take a clean glass bong with a big glass bowl, put a screen on the bottom of it, just break it up like you were rolling a joint. Don't pack it, just put it in there.
We're Eagle Billing it over here.
And just figure out the temperature where you're just barely toasting it. It should never light on fire. It should never turn brown.
My buddy used to have one of those.
I made
Exactly
one
what you're
in
talking about.
90 or a long fucking time ago after I went to the first annual Hemp and Marijuana Extravaganza sponsored by High Times at Condi's Redwood Lumber. His family had, like, he said it himself, Bill Condi said, I have 3 generations of bad tree karma. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm never going to cut a tree down again, and I'm going to support the hemp industry as much as I can. And I saw this guy using a very similar thing, and so I just went home, figured it out. It cheap and easy. It cost you $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
I don't know why I tangented on. Oh, you said you were using.
I've been doing the convection heating of the flower.
You know,
that's a good way.
Where I'm learning as I've worked now and traveled around the country in all these different cannabis markets and met all sorts of different people and smoked a lot with them, that where I grew up, which was Omaha, Nebraska, I think we were the only culture growing up, or one of the few, that utilized glass bowls more than anything else to smoke out of. It was just, you rarely rolled a joint. You couldn't get water pipes or whatever they made us call them, because you couldn't call them bongs. So I was just speaking with a gentleman the other night from near where my hometown is, and we just both connected on, wait, nobody smokes out of bowls anymore anywhere, unless you go back to Nebraska. To this day, people still do it.
I think like Oregon, still people a lot there seem like they do too.
Yeah.
Like when I got off the plane in Medford that one time, and I was like, walked out, and I was like 3 different people go down, grab their shit, hit a bowl, and then walk to their car. Oh my God, they might have been driving. Oh my God! Close your ears. No, but in reality, it was just like, I was like, oh, that felt really good, because in Denver's so like rigid, you know, you get off the plane there, you never see anybody popping bowls off in the fucking parking lot hardly ever, you know, like, you know, that's not, but there it was just like, we're home. You could just tell they had the vibe too. They were just
It's the Snodgrass effect.
I don't know. When I pick up my homie, I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah,
I guess not.
You broke us. You were totally broken now.
No, definitely, yeah. But Oregon definitely has a deep culture, and definitely Snotty, I'm sure, is a big influence on that. And it's also like a lot of those, they're utilitarian bowls too. They're not anything fancy or crazy. It's just like a simple and works good, simple.
That's the thing. You'd buy it for $12 because if you broke it, whatever. You know, just
Yeah, whenever you had a nice piece, it was always like, you know, that was, you made it. You broke it on purpose because you fucked up because you thought about it so much. Whereas if it's not, almost impossible to break a small spoon. Like really, you got to really try hard. You know what I mean? It's like an Operation Try Hard right here.
I bought a Bob Snodgrass pipe in 1992.
Oh, look at she's like 92.
Yeah.
I was born in 94.
Yeah, she's the same age as Jonah. You know, so
94
that's my
baby
son.
here.
I bought my first glass pipe from Bob Snodgrass.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. I broke it when I moved here in 2000. So I kept it alive for 8 years.
Wow.
It fell on the floor. But had I known how valuable it would have been, one of his first, I would have had it behind glass. Yeah. You know, things, you know.
What could you have sold it for now? Or like...
Don't say it. He'll know.
What are they worth? Not like you would sell it, but what are they worth?
I think his rejects sell for $700 to $1,200. You know, He's the master. That's like purchasing a Picasso or a Gauguin or something like that. I mean, he started a movement that changed everything in the game. I mean, everything. And he taught others, which also I don't know if that's a big thing but he was very eager. He taught others his craft. So Jason Harris is a master glassblower. He was like his 6th student, and he revolutionized the bong industry. So to think it's passing on,
Wow.
I have a glass pipe by Cameron Tower, which is one of his, and I keep it there. I use it regularly, but I also clean it right after. You know, so maybe that's the reason, and it's big.
Super anal, I can tell already.
You know.
Q-tip it all out or what?
No, it's not like that. But I mean, it doesn't travel well. You know, that's why I don't think you see people. I mean, they're probably not smoking out of.
Yeah, those pieces you stay at home, but like you know, this.
Yeah, something like that for
Right.
sure.
Oh, he's gonna break it right now.
Hey, shout out to
It's always
Planet.
the 3rd time too.
To Planet 13.
That's what I did
they
too.
gave me tank glass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about lounges a lot. They might have it figured out. I'm serious. You walk in with nothing, you leave with nothing. You're not fucking up their license by bringing something inside, and you're not getting fucked with by the man outside by having something on you. That's just the way it is. They claim it's a state law. I didn't look it up. I'm going to take their word for it. But they might have figured something out. They won. They did not gouge the customer.
I just hate to be the guy who has to break the news to people all day. Like, take your weed and put it in the locker and come in
There were so many people in there. They were willing. Not everyone was Adam Dunn. You would need 2 lockers
It's Vegas,
for what
so
you
it
would.
makes sense because a lot of people there are.
It worked. So the weed was not overpriced. It was reasonable. The food was reasonable. They had non-alcoholic beverages that were reasonably priced, and they even had canna beverages that were reasonably priced.
Love.
So props to them. So if you're in Vegas, you should stop by the Dazed Smoking Lounge and mention we sent you there. But we get no money from them. We have no affiliation with them. But believe it or not, they have dab rigs you can borrow. They don't care. Not ours. So I didn't use it. They have that cup, which I'm forgetting the name of it.
Oh, I've seen that.
Zenko?
Zenko, yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
I think I misused it. Like, I thought I was being
You're not
cool.
supposed to do that to it.
I pushed the button and let it blow straight up, and there was so much
Whoa, it blows.
Where on the Zenko did Dave touch you?
But I could feel it on my teeth. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't like that feeling. Bong was great. The flower was fantastic. They do it well. So shout out to them.
Next Thursday, the Chamber is hosting an educational webinar panel, and we have a couple of Denver cannabis lounges, which are Cirrus as well as 420 Hotels.
Are they open yet? Or?
Working on it. They're both of those.
Hopefully
are still working
October.
on it. Yeah, that's the idea. And so,
how's the piano doing?
They're loving that piano.
Hey, do you know they have a piano?
They love it. They love their piano.
What piano?
Just don't even go there.
I want to know.
You're gonna know when you know. I'm telling you.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Someday I will know.
They got a big, really nice piano.
It's a nice piano
that they want you to know about. So when you get there,
can you play it?
No, I don't think you can touch it.
I don't think anybody's allowed to ever touch it. I think it's that kind of piano.
Vinny, can they play the
like
piano?
Liberace just came in. Forget about it. Forget about it. You're not touching the keys.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I don't know what we're talking about.
It's
so cool.
It's very translucent. I think it's see-through, right? Isn't it, or something?
I thought it was light pink.
Oh, Jesus.
Aaron is a friend of mine. And
I think the whole thing is
I
based
think
on that.
I think it's
like
light
they had
pink.
to find a home for that.
Let's be real here. Half of Boulder is your friend. Come on, that's the number right there. So
I have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So shout out to Orion from Boulder Built. His weed was fire, absolutely fire. And so I remind you again, if you're listening right now and you go down to Boulder Built and say you heard about it on the show,
did you reach out to Lance?
Dude,
I did. He didn't write
Now
back.
it's too late.
No, I reached out to him before.
No, it's too late.
Another cool thing.
I think we were right at the cusp because it was like around midnight. It was like I could tell. We were like, oof.
The glass jar for the joint.
What about it?
Because I got a pre-roll from Boulder.
You talking about Zenko again?
No, from the Boulder.
They
Boulder
had a
Bill?
glass
Largo,
jar.
Largo, Largo?
He's worse than me right now.
Boulder built.
Did you-
Boulder
Boulder
built.
built.
Ah,
yes.
there we go. Boulder.
And
Boulder.
their little pre-roll cases are glass.
Oh,
with a
nice.
little plastic top. Yeah.
He has a
That
very
was hard
good
to say.
pre-roll
That was a lot of
business.
words.
Wait till he leaves.
We got
He's gonna need a ride home.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're driving?
He's
Oh,
walking. He's walking home.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
So, John,
Uber.
how does the industry,
That's right.
from a business perspective, reconcile with the fact that what McCarter said earlier is so true, it's going to get even more true. It's an average right now in the state of Colorado, wholesale rec, $750 a pound.
So bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you say bad. I was telling businesses 14 years ago to put $700 on their performers. That was the only thing they should expect. And when they sold it for more, miracle worker they are.
Wow.
Work
So
in
you
a
called it.
performance bonus. But 700, someone's going to say that's high. Because it's going to keep going down.
Yeah.
It's back now. We arc back to the beginning of the show. It's the sugar conversation.
It's a race to the bottom.
It's not a race. I don't agree with that way of describing it. It's not the bottom. It's what is meant to be in agriculture. We just existed in this microcosm of traditional market where we made so much money.
How many times?
So much money.
How many times did it transfer hands back in the day where now it never does because there's no way.
Doesn't even touch human hands.
Because it used to be like, you got it from this guy, or gave it to this guy, or gave it to this guy. Or like, if you add up the amount that like every pound really made, it's like crazy because it starts to become like it gets sold 6, 7, 8 times, 9 times. So you start going like, that one little thing generated a fuckload of money. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So
something tells me.
I'm saying it's sad for the little guys.
There is
That
no little guys anymore.
there are still some. There are some that are out there.
But they'll still be here. If they grow really good weed,
Yeah.
they will be here. Did I say weed right? I can say weed, not grass.
Yeah, you've
I say
evolved.
weed.
You've
I
evolved.
love saying weed.
Well, he says grass.
So
My
if-
parents say pot.
Oh, that's worse.
I know. I'm like, I tell them like, call it weed.
Yeah, but you know what though?
Or
You ready?
cannabis.
Hold on. I'm gonna blow his mind for a second. Her parents are probably our age. Okay? So come on.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah. So why isn't the conversation about how they should have a model that can show them how to be profitable as the price declines? And if they don't, now is the time, right? As it changes schedule, get out, sell and consolidate.
Yeah.
How many coffee companies are there in the country?
Well, there's some boutique ones, but
Right, there's a lot of coffee companies.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
No, here's the boutique coffee grower, but there's probably 3 big
Major
coffee
distributors.
major distributors
Oh,
in the country.
okay.
There's
There's
2,
a lot of marketing behind it. That's what there is.
and they all brand different, but
I
they're
can
the
make
same.
a brand. I can make a coffee brand in like 8 minutes on my phone. Just like, bup, we got a brand. You know what I mean? We don't work there. That's how easy it is.
So this is something to consider. I mean, maybe you have inflated expectations of what a real agriculture industry in the United States is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, again, I grew up in Nebraska, so I grew up I grew up on a farm, so yeah, like,
agriculturally depressed as anywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
He
it's
knows
like
about agriculture, okay?
It's like culturally depressing there too. So in many ways, so
Agriculturally depressing.
And
There
yes,
you go.
yeah. But that that being said, I've had conversations with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, their actual state
There we
chamber of
go.
commerce, and they are high on the hog in Missouri right now. They're making money hand over the fist.
yes.
It's just like Colorado
It's
was in
doing
the early
super
2012s
well.
and 2013s.
That's because they followed Oklahoma, right? Because they
Well,
went like
Smokelahoma, that is.
Yeah.
And they let Oklahoma take all the heat, and then they were like, "We're going to do it right."
Right,
I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Well,
That's what I assume.
Yeah.
They're also spending money hand over fist, and so what I've been trying to explain to the
Dave,
groups down there
you
is
go
like
to Missouri.
hold on to some of that capital, man, because it's not going to last forever. I mean, like we've seen in every market, eventually prices will dip, and in many of them they continue to dip, and so it's like, yeah, you don't want to, if you're living large now, either great, build your business, get out, or hold on to some of that capital, because there are tough times ahead, and if you utilize that money the right way, you're going to be able to be successful. And another thing I've been speaking about is, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody. I used to travel up and down California talking to operators and doing speaking engagements, talking about how important data is in your business and how important it is to know, which products have the best margins and all these things. And I think I was just on a call a week ago, and another industry leader started saying the same things that I was saying a few years ago. And I was like, well, if we're just repeating the same message and these operators still aren't making any changes, that means that they aren't getting it, or maybe they're getting rah-rahed up and then they go back to their operation and they have nobody that can actually execute on that. So I think it's important for the industry to start recognizing, okay, yes, this is how you do it, but then also providing the resources for them to actually put it into place so that they can actually build a better business. So,
there is something to be said about when you show up at the poker table, your time to be taught was before you sat the fuck down. Okay?
Yeah.
So it should not be the rest of the industry's responsibility to teach you how to do good business.
That's the unfortunate thing is in many of these industries, it's just like it was back in early Colorado and California and Oregon and Washington. It's a bunch of people that are very eager to do cannabis, right? They don't know how to do business, and
they're all stoned,
for the most part. So they get off at the wrong pace, right? And so it's important for some of these mature markets where we've taken the lumps, and this is where my organization, as a national organization, hopefully will be involved in this, is connecting some of these dots and enlightening some of these emerging markets on some of the hurdles that are going to be coming their way, because inevitably they are going to run into those hurdles. It happens in every market.
Well, you definitely need a podcast for your platform, so we should talk. We're for sale.
Okay.
We're for sale.
We're for hire, I should say.
Fair.
Yeah.
This show is worldwide.
And I just think it's the industry in regards to what the expectations of the now business person has. They're going to be woefully disappointed, but they shouldn't feel out of the game. They should figure out a way to use the knowledge they have to capitalize on what's coming, because otherwise they unfortunately play the game better than we do, and they know it. So you better get some acumen right now and either align with someone who can protect your interests or learn it yourself, because if it does go Schedule 3, we are in a whole new ball game. You remember how people probably ask you, well, what inning do you think this game is in, this industry, and you'd make some joke, it's second or third inning. No, once they get in, we're in spring training. We're maybe making bats.
It's inside baseball with Adam Dunn here.
We're sewing gloves together, but we are out of the game by then. We're playing Little League because they just going to do it better than us. But just to give them a plus, there will be the medicinal benefits. They will come up with a medicine that will make these motherfuckers like
boners.
These fucking guys
okay.
that have fucked us forever, who kept us from stem cell research or things like that. They're gonna find some miracle cure from the cannabis plant, and to hell with those.
If it's not
fuckers.
weight loss, hair, or boners, we're not interested.
South Park, we need you guys to get on board because you guys change cultures.
Integrity.
Yeah,
they kind of sold out. They kind of sold out though a little bit, didn't they? Ever since Paramount kind of dropped, they got a little weaker. They got a little bit weaker because I was watching that. I was like, they should have went harder. They used
for
to
what?
They used to go hard in the paint.
Ozempic one.
Oh, I need to watch it.
They didn't go so hard as they could have. You guys, they kind of. It was almost like they got. I was like, wait, are these guys sponsored by these guys or something? What's going on here? They were like, they didn't even go in for the kill.
Oh wow, I really need to watch it now.
They could have went. They could have went full face sliding and the whole 9 yards. They didn't do none of that. It was like, really?
They're soft like Luka Doncic's defense.
Oh yeah, that's right. They really didn't go into what potential side effects can happen, and you have to take it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Dumbest thing ever.
So scary. I have a
dumbest
friend
thing
on
ever.
it, and I'm just like, why?
I mean, if it was a situation where you do it and then it gets you jump started and then you like worked your way into the right sort of thing, it would make sense. But it's nothing like that. It's like, no, you just do it and keep doing it. And you're like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And you're like, no, just keep doing it. You're like,
That sounds like heroin.
Exactly. And I was saying it's getting everybody all just like used to the idea of needles and stuff, which is not a good thing. You know, you don't want to get that to be normal.
Oh, don't get them started now. Jeez
Don't get me
Louise.
started, OBE.
Oh, here they come. What
I used to be
what am I
six- well,
shedding to you right now again?
Definitely a lot. Did you just go and get your weekly?
No,
weekly. To go get your weekly injections or what?
No, it's been a long time.
It's been months.
I might not even be protected. But yet, out of all of us here, who are the only two people not to have had it?
Yeah, but who cares? You want it. It's like anything. You want to get it, and you just want to deal with it.
I
and
probably
you're-
had it.
You don't want to not get it.
Yeah.
You want to get it and get it over with, because then
Mhm.
when the other one comes, you got something
get it on a
against it. That's how it
schedule.
works. You don't just like wait around hiding from it. Like it's like Lysol. You spray Lysol in front of you as you walk.
How many people do we have come in here?
Millions.
There's no air ventilation in here.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever he has over there,
You're
and
all
Mr.
gonna die.
X, we all have it.
We're all gonna die.
You know?
Yeah,
and then Telly, who knows what that kid is up to these days. He probably plays in traffic or something like that. Got up and
Yeah,
walked
triggered.
away.
He
Had
seems
no
like a
words.
responsible kid.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. So, John, anything you want to plug before we get to selling ads or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's to the fun stuff.
Anything you want to plug?
The basketball game's starting, so I'm about to lose.
All right. Well, that means I'm headed out too.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck,
Everyone.
Mark.
Party's over,
Thanks,
dude.
Mark.
I thought it was my
Sorry.
birthday. I thought we were having cakes.
Happy
and,
birthday, dude.
And all sorts of good stuff.
Happy
and-
birthday.
Happy birthday. A Celtics championship for you, your birthday.
Oh, God.
Who? I stopped watching
the
after
worst
the
gift
Nuggets
ever.
lost.
Huh?
Yeah.
The
What's the
Celtics
point?
were a great team.
Ah,
Dude,
Yeah, we're playing the
I just
Mavericks.
remember what it
Dallas
was.
Mavericks.
I'd rather watch that Game Time
Closeout game.
on that show about
This
Magic
is the
Johnson.
sweet game, right?
Sweet game. Yeah. they're
I
out.
don't even start, dude. Just
Oh, it's out.
Look at
Yeah,
him. He's
changing.
already. Oh, he's already going.
He's
He's
checking
in. He's
out.
done. He's checking out. He's
Oh,
like,
Lord.
Just
Well, I'll plug something.
Go.
I'd love to have the two of you on my podcast
uh-oh.
Yes.
soon.
60,000.
Oh yeah, we'll get on there.
It's a little bit different than this,
Oh,
but
geez.
you know,
Oh,
it's still fun.
Questions and shit.
Still
Or
fun.
what?
Yes, it's questions.
No.
I ask about your entire story, basically,
Oh,
like
mine's forever.
like
so.
when you
Oh,
first
God.
tried cannabis.
No way.
never-
You asked that question.
Where
I've
you
never heard
where
that question
you
before in my life.
were. Go through it all. But then I want to know about your growing and all that jazz. So we gotta schedule
Okay.
that.
Just trying to steal all my information.
And you too,
Brain drain is
Chamber
called
of
the Brain
Commerce, man.
Drain.
I forgot your name.
John
John.
Svoboda. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was so hooked on the last name that I forgot
Svoboda.
the
Yeah,
first
so-
name, John.
It's really
It's
complicated.
SVBOOOOOOODN.
I don't know about that.
The funny thing about my
John,
last
you should
name,
come on my podcast
I
too.
completely will, and I appreciate the invite. My last name translates to freedom in Russian and Czech. I'm Czech.
Oh,
but
cool.
When I was working in LA, there's a lot of Russians in the industry, and they'd always start the conversation. Do you know what your last name means? And I'd always be like, yeah, freedom, but mainly from you guys. So
Oh my gosh.
sick burn, but yeah.
Damn.
So
Wow.
there's a way to remember my name, but things to plug.
That is a sick burn.
Couple things to plug. Next Wednesday here
A
in
list.
Denver, we are having a networking mixer at the Edgewater Beer Garden between 4 and 6 with our good friends LA Consulting, and then. Thursday, June 20th at 1 p.m. We are hosting a cannabis and tourism webinar with Aaron, aforementioned Aaron, Chris Chiari, Brian Applegarth, and Christopher Laporte. So it should be a good one.
Nice.
Excellent.
We love Aaron Richard.
So that's all I got to plug.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Double plug.
What's your website again? For
Oh,
everyone
yes.
knows
Okay.
it.
My podcast. Well, my podcast is High Minded with McCarter.
Okay.
But then my Instagram handle, like my main channel, is McCarter Gets High.
So I did watch one of the episodes a while ago, which was with one of our former sponsors, Tim Double C McCormick, of course.
Oh my
you guys
God.
must have bonded over the
Love-
double C's. You were like, you're a double C, I'm a
He's
double
a
C.
good friend.
That's a thing?
I'm sure it is.
Oh.
Because there's regular C McCormicks, and then there's
Yeah.
the double C McCormicks.
We're like
And
double
then-
C.
Come on.
Hey.
Yeah, see, I already knew that was a thing.
Double C.
But so when we had him on the show, it was great because we had him he sat in your exact seat.
Oh my God.
He was our guest.
I'll send him a picture.
Guest co-host, but he always wore his aviators, right?
Hilarious.
And because that was how he got into character. And
Never said a word.
He would just sit like, and he looked just like Elon Musk. And then I'd be like, dude, you look just like Elon Musk now. And I'd be like, and it got worse because Elon would wear the aviators too. And then he's just like, dude. And then he was talking so high level that it kind of got weird where you'd be like, we're on mushrooms, we're hanging out with him, and I'm like, dude, I think I am sitting with Elon Musk. This is really weird. Like, remember that? That was the first time he came.
Oh, yeah.
And the chat was all freaking out.
Nope.
Like, dude, he looks just like him.
Yeah,
and
to this
Elon was
day, I
big,
still-
and that's all I see now.
I know.
I can't see
Same.
anything.
I can't see it.
So every time I see Tim, I'm like, dude. You know. So then
I'm
we had
not
him on.
seeing it.
Oh, come on, dude. He talks
Oh,
like
come
that.
on,
He's
dude.
got all of it going on.
What's going on, dude? Come on.
Dude, get it together.
Yeah, Dave.
Pay
come
attention.
on.
I don't pay attention to Elon Musk.
Fall
Pay
in line
attention to
with the
guests.
cult,
That's fair.
Dave.
Yeah,
I
Dave.
loved
Get
him.
your-
He is so knowledgeable. He got me to shop and eat only organic.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
he's a good
That's
guy.
why we bonded.
You'll live
we
just
bonded
as long
in
as everyone
organicness.
Shut up! I'll live longer.
Just as long.
Do you want to become a cult leader?
So, John, we're going to need you to do some of our ads today so we can take a little time off.
yeah,
How are you
we're tired.
reading script?
I'm pretty decent.
We don't
Well,
have
we
any.
don't have any.
Okay, perfect.
Scripts
Done.
don't account. No
But
scripts around here.
you can come on down to So High Cafe.
Oh yeah, you can grab some food before you go too.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the little taster. It was
Oh.
yummy.
There you go.
See, there you go.
Were you pointing at me?
Boulder approved.
I was going to say.
Boulder approved barbecue. That's pretty good because
Yeah.
normally
Okay.
Boulder would be like, no barbecue.
back.
No, it
it's
was
bad. It burns the
good.
environment. You're burning the
Well,
environment.
I'm from St. Louis. We have really good
There
barbecue.
you go. You got the bones. You got the bones.
Yes. I'm a Midwestern girl.
Nice.
And were you critical on the sauces? Because I know they were.
Oh
very
yes.
St. Louis
I'm a
examples.
big sauce girl.
See, because real barbecue shouldn't need sauce.
Correct.
No, you gotta have the sauces.
But then you got St. Louis loves sauce. So there's certain places
You
that
need
are
it saucy.
sauce heavy, and then there's other guys who get like scour at you if you put the sauce on. I'm not even
Wait,
meat,
yeah,
and I know all this
there's.
shit. This is
I
like,
had a wing in there, and it was more
I'm
of like
analyzing
a
you
good.
meaty
Did you know what animal that
It
was?
was a good rub.
It's chicken.
Yeah, it was a chicken wing. I know what? I know it.
You know what chicken wings are? Oh my god!
I eat meat. I'm not like him.
He's
I eat.
vegan.
I eat meat.
No,
Okay.
she
Basically
is
vegan.
kind of off. From
Anyways,
sorry.
we're talking about what you can get here at So High Cafe, 4300 West Alameda.
Not only can you get
SoHighCafe.com.
It's
briskets
really good
and
food.
burnt ends, you can
Yeah,
get
I just
Zoom
had
mac and
some. It
cheese.
was
The
really
world,
good.
Homestyle
America lives on
mac
mac
and
and cheese.
cheese.
America
Oh, dude.
runs on mac and cheese.
I could eat that whole
Yes.
tray if
I
you
just
would
wait. I had
sell
a
it to me.
sample of that too.
I think
Dunkin'
it's-
Donuts is
So
gonna
High
sue
Cafe
us.
is McCarter approved.
God, Yeah. that's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Oh.
Whoa!
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
We
got turntables set up. If you have some records, you want to come listen to them, eat some barbecue, come down. We have the
Don't get
capability to
try not to get the
broadcast.
sauce on your fingers while you're.
I know it's a weird combo.
bad-
I get it. You know, you got to eat with
Tomorrow
force.
night
gotta
we'll
be
have
able to
sports
mix and
feeds
eat.
going out live at 8:30.
Oh, the other podcast that's recorded here is Sports Fiends, and they are recording tomorrow night live from So High Cafe. So you can come check that out if you are.
Opposite of the Adam Dunn show.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to talk about
Even
the
though you
aftermath
think-
of this
Two-timing
game
us.
4.
Yeah.
Together, though, they could know what they should do.
Oh,
Is
no.
they should say, broadcast from the Adam Dunn Show studio, and then every other sports guy is going to think it's his studio, and they're going to blow the fuck up, and they're not lying.
Blow up. They're not lying.
Boom! I just made them a million.
Way to think of
a
us.
million
Appreciate
Anyways,
it.
guys,
subscribers.
if you have a podcast, we'll record it for you here. Get some Viper Pit barbecue at So High Cafe. SoHigh.com.
Thank you, Marky Mark.
No,
Yeah, dude.
now we're talking Boulder.
Best coffee
Yep.
there is.
This
There it
Justin and
is.
Rebecca
Boulder
Hartman.
runs on Ozo.
OzoCoffee.com.
They're everywhere.
So the Dunn
For a
deal
good
does
reason.
not work at their locations. However, if you go to OzoCoffee.com and enter Dunn Deal 2024,
Guess where else it's available?
Ozo?
So High
How's it going?
Cafe.
Just getting
Come
some
on.
coffee.
20% off all your orders. Get the subscription. It is probably the most used Dunn Deal code that we have. So Dunn Deal 2024.
Exactly.
OzoCoffee.com.
BuildASoul.com.
855
You know,
877.
you ever had him on your show?
I've
He's a great guest.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of them.
You could be going home. You should be getting
Yeah.
a notepad out right now.
Oh my God. Okay, let me write it down.
You're Danny Danko.
I
in
need
here?
these sponsors too. Give me money.
Yeah, we're
Hold
gonna,
on.
yeah, give me
Give
money.
Oh, wait, show
money.
us how you can get money.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yeah. BuildASoil.com.
These guys don't
855
give us money. Don't think they're giving
I'm
us
messing
real
with
money.
877 soil.
I'm
Yo tip.
texting.
So I gave you
Dead.
some yo tips. I'll give you some that are branded, but these
Oh,
are
love the
perfect
yo
for
tips.
your
Yeah, these are
your
dope.
mixer.
Yes,
if
I
anyone's
appreciate it.
smoking
If
together,
anybody
To not
smokes.
spread COVID
Yeah.
or other germs.
I can get you a couple more on the way out here in this box over here.
it also,
Grab
you know,
those.
it's a better way to smoke. It makes the filter just hit better.
It does.
It
It's
does.
like having a garden hose handle on a garden
Yes.
hose. So you go to yotip.com, you enter Dunn Deal at checkout, you get 10% off your order. But you really, the better thing you can do for us is you can get us in touch with the dispensary you shop from. We'll get them some samples. It's really easy. We have a counter display. It's a $5 upsell to every transaction, and it's a barrier of protection to, I mean, where was the person that you're sharing a joint with 5 minutes before you got there? What were they doing? And are you sure they washed their hands? Okay, so yotip.com.
And how much saliva's on that joint?
Right?
I'm looking at, like Dave saw me lick my joint.
Well, yeah, where's their mouth been?
Oh, Mark. Oh, that
do the
was just
70s.
wrong.
No, it's a 70s joint when you do the whole joint in the mouth and then back
Yeah,
out
yeah,
again.
Oh, stop. I'm
Burn
gonna,
it with the lighter.
I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah,
puke.
dude.
I'm gonna
These are
puke.
all the techniques that are still in play.
Why are you making me want to go on to the next
I'm
ad?
gonna puke.
Greenfarmsmed.com.
Greenfarmsmed.com. Don't look at that just wispy joint that there's being rolled on this. It's just stock footage.
That guy.
I know. That's a
That guy's about to.
He's going to lick that joint.
Yeah.
That joint will be
Whole
double.
thing.
Full
Yeah.
insertion.
That joint
Exactly.
looks pitiful.
The funny
gonna
part
take
is
10
the
minutes to
guys who
dry.
do that, they've done it so many times that it's like it's weird because it's not just like it's not even mechanical. It's like fluid because they've done it. They go, and you're like, what just happened? Oh my god!
Pass. You have a bong I can
And when you're-
clean?
Mental note: do not hit on that.
So if you
joint.
go to greenfarmsmed.com, you'll see that he's got nearly 800 SKUs. So
Yeah.
every product available in the state of Colorado is available at Green Farms Med. Only requirement is you are a medical patient. So if you're not, go to Holos Health and get a med card. Tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. They'll give you 20% off your med card.
And then go to Green Farms and get the Dunn deal
right.
there because they will hook you up if you
Hook
tell them that
you
you
up.
heard it from the Adam Dunn Show.
And if you just he's vain, so if you just tell him how great his weed is,
Yeah.
he's gonna bask and he's gonna give you more.
Right. Greenfarmsmed.com. Green Bros with a Z.
Green Bros with a Z. If you are a commercial cannabis company, this is your post-harvest production equipment. So if you need trimming done, it's the best trimmer you've ever seen. It barely touches it. It barely touches your flower. And if you're a joint rolling company, they have the Holy Roller. I'm pretty sure, I'm absolutely positive, in fact, it rolls about 12 million joints a minute. So it's a fantastic machine. It
What?
doesn't come close to that. Green Bros with a Z.com. The beauty product to get right now is the Harvest Bucket. You'll get 10% off your order if you mention the Adam Dunn Show. It's like having 5 friends come over when you need to harvest who just didn't want to be there to begin with. So
Yeah,
Green
and they don't
Bros with
complain.
a Z.com.
And they don't eat drink, and they don't eat pizza.
Wait, I need that.
They don't eat pizza.
Yeah.
I need
and
this.
they don't drink all your drinks.
Green
and
Bros.
Will they
Waste
send
all
me
your
one?
time.
Yeah, probably.
Who doesn't eat pizza? That's weird.
Yeah, you'll just
Harvest Bros?
No, Green Bros.
shoot.
GREENBROZ.com, and I'll get you in touch with Cullen.
And if you're into dabbing and you're in Colorado and Oklahoma, you want to check out Apothecary Farms, and they have Max Out Monday, where every every Monday you can get lower prices on your Max Out limit here in Colorado. Let them know you heard about it on the show.
I got 8 grams from Hash House in Boulder, Dab Logic Company,
Yes.
for $40.
What?
Okay, 8 grams for $40.
Was it rosin?
They have
No.
doorbuster
Oh.
deals here too. They have $40 grams.
Yeah, it was rosin.
have-
I'm starting a secondary business. I'm getting it for $5 a gram.
They have
Fuck.
decarbed live resin that they're selling for that same price point, Dave. So if you want to check it out, go to apothecaryfarms.com.
Yep. Greatest dab rig that, at least in my opinion, electronic dab rig available right now.
It hit great.
There you go.
Hit great.
Multiple hits off of the same load, and you don't have to clean it like you have to clean one of the other ones out there. It's quality product, manufactured or at least designed in L.A. by our friend Christian Ratto.
Look at the video.
Look at the video and think about it like this. When you're ready, you just pop off the bottom and you put the reclaim dish in the freezer, and you have the best edibles you ever needed. Totally clean. The vapor never touches the path.
Or just
of the
redab them,
reclaim.
baby.
There you go. Dabex.com.
That's what I do.
Done deal at checkout. Don't do that. We'll get you 20% off. We'll get you some real rosin. Don't do that. That's just pure CBN right there.
Also, if you have a rig that you really like, you can get the Rocket, and it
Great
turns
product.
any rig into a Go, essentially.
Yeah, and I will say this, that if allegedly, possibly hypothetically, if you were ever in a situation where somebody from the Transportation Security Administration should say, what is this? You would reply, it's an aromatherapy device. And they go, no problem. And you go on through.
That's what I do.
Yep.
Dabex.com. Get the done deal. 14 or Boulder.
So I would shop there just to buy the DJC because the guy's face on the can is absolutely amazing. He should be on more strains.
Should be on that product right
there. He does all right.
That was good timing. So 14erboulder.com. Enter Done Deal at checkout. I'm pretty sure it's 20% off. The flower is so amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's not Colorado dry either. The cans do the flower justice. So 14erboulder.com, Done Deal at checkout. Try the DJC. They have these new 8-gram tubs. It's like the jar is disruptive. It's wicked huge. They have a tincture there now. It's fast acting rosin. They have edibles there now. The hash hole was
they have
tasty.
hash holes. Love that.
They do. It's 1.25 grams, which I just think is a terrible size. It should be like just 1/4 short on the flour so that you can max out your deal. Because the 1/4 gram throws it off to where you can't get the maximum on there.
That is
but
annoying.
This is their first round, and I'm sure they'll work on it. So 14erboulder.com.
Get the done deal. KawaiHempCo.com.
KawaiHempCo.com, all organic. Done deal at checkout, 25% off your order.
Stundenglass.
We have one right over there.
Yeah, we
They
do.
sent one to the show.
Oh, yeah.
It is the most amazing double-ended glass gravity infuser ever. You got that one forever now, Vinny. I said double-ended. It's an amazing product. It is not cheap, so that's why you should use the Done Deal and get 23% off. 23% off. Stundenglass.com.
HortitechDirect.com.
These greenhouses are absolutely beyond the pale right now. We interviewed a North Dakota grower who went through a 3-day storm at minus 72 degrees with 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and it never got below 72 in their greenhouse. Wow. All the mechanics are on the interior wall. Amazing product. You give them a call. You don't shop for a greenhouse using the Buy It Now button. And you give them a call. You talk with a professional there. You mention you heard about it on the show. It's 5% off your order.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. We got to do... Is game started? Or what's going on over there?
Terpwipes.com/Done
I'm reading your
Deal.
thing that you said.
Oh, okay.
No point.
I know. He just sent me that today.
No point in entering a
New
code.
idea.
Terpwipes.com/Done Deal. That's all you need to do.
Bio 365.
Next week, we're gonna have Tim on next week with
Sweet.
Andy because Andy's visiting the farm.
Oh,
and
nice.
so we're gonna have Odie, I think, and
The first soil in
oh,
space.
Odie's coming here?
No,
Ah.
we're gonna get a visit to the Washington
I'd
State
Kaiser
Garden.
Soza him all day long.
Oh my! Kaiser Soza everybody.
Bio365.com.
He's like, Kaiser Soza.
I can see it. I will talk about it. Bio365.com. Or send an email to tim@bio365.com. Tell him the soil blend you're using. He will make one up for you, and he will ship you a pallet if you're a commercial company. So bio365.com. It's the only soil company you need. If you're a deadhead, know that Bob Weir is invested in this company. We need to keep the money in the family.
Numbnutsco.com.
I tried to get some of it here right now, but Adam is with his bride in Aspen doing a wine seminar.
We need those
so
numbnuts.
numbnutsco.com, CBD infused peanut butter, almond butter, cinnamon flavored.
Gotta get 'em at your
for
spot,
your
dude.
pet.
For
If
sure.
they're not allergic to peanut butter, this is the perfect product to get CBD into them. If you are a medical patient in the state of Colorado, you click the Find Our Nuts button, and you can find 1,000-milligram tubs of THC-infused peanut butter that is absolutely tasty. Don't do like we did and sit down with a tub and a spoon. That's a bad idea. So numbnutsco.com. Sunscape LED. So these lights are game changer. I just spoke with a big company that we pitched Sunscape to, and they are so pissed that they went with the other company because they saved them a nickel. It was the dumbest thing in the world. Okay, the dumbest thing in the world. I don't grow anymore, but I pay attention to growers. And the big thing I hear from them is dialing in the right spectrums of your 3 colors to get everything dialed in right. And if you can't do that with a dial, then it's the wrong light for your grow. So you go to sunscapeled.com, you tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. They're going to take really good care of you. He uses the lights now.
Yeah, they're awesome. And the thing is, it's not even that. There's other features on it that are just so smart, and the industry is not really. They're not. A lot of the guys are not growers, and so there's a.
How'd you clean them?
Exactly. These are easy to clean, but there's also another thing which is really crazy, which is there's a fail-safe in a lot of these lights that when a light goes bad, that unless it completely blows out, what usually happens is you get a panel or 2 goes out. It stays on instead of turns off.
Oh, so you have no idea you've lost spectrum.
No, you literally lose a whole grow room because you end up with a bunch of re-veg plants because you come in and you're like, hey, why is that light staying on? It's like, oh, it's telling you it's broken. And it's like, no, it should stay off if it wants to tell you it's broken. But the whole industry has them based like that, except for these guys. They're like the only guys who are smart enough to do that. So that feature alone is like could have saved you so much money as a big company. Like you have a huge room and you have like 6 lights that all stay on because they're all breaking down at the exact same moment. You're fucked. You know what I mean? That's a huge loss. That's huge like, we just lost the entire crop. Whereas if they just didn't come on, you go, hey, those lights didn't come on. Maybe we should check them. You know what I mean? And nobody thinks like that. But these guys, they're really smart like that. They've been, Dave met him, 5 years ago?
Oh, more than that. 2017.
Oh, like 9 years ago or something crazy. Yeah. And so when he met him, they had just started, and it took up until now before they were comfortable putting the product out there.
15.
Yeah, because they saw that it wasn't right. So they just fine-tuned it. And you can take these lights and you can literally tune in the colors.
And he comes from the Chinese mining industry. So they have the quality is equal to that of water safety. So you can clean them with a pressure washer. That's it. Just make sure they're not on. And, and that's it. You're good.
Sunscape LED.
Yes, sir.
JeromeBaker.com.
Speaking of glass pipes.
Speaking of 1990, when he started, right, 1991, was it?
Yeah.
Probably. So
Dad was thinking about maybe one day I'll have a daughter.
This is how you contribute back to the industry, because you get the best quality made glass, priced reasonably, but you are given to an OG in the industry. You should see the way he runs his dream factory. He employs everyone there. He has an assembly line working there. He gives glass blowers jobs and places to create their art. So you go to JeromeBakerGlass.com, and if you're in Vegas right now, you want to check out Dead & Company at the Sphere. I'm pretty sure they play Monday, up to Monday, and then they're done for 2 weeks.
I saw Benjamin's post about
that was great.
Shakedown Street, and I was like, damn, that thing's hopping.
I did see Jeremy when I was there. I got to talk to him for a little bit. So check out all the vendors. I walked around the whole Shakedown Street. It was a ton of fun. It brought me back to days past, although we weren't nearly as organized.
I was going to say, our air conditioning room at the Tuscany is hardly a Shakedown Street memory that anybody had.
So the Tuscany is probably going to be the future of the industry for a little while. They did, as long as you did not smoke inside, which is something you shouldn't be doing anywhere in public like that. You just went outside. They didn't care. They encouraged it. They encouraged people to park there and then get driven to, the Sphere show, which was fantastic, which I don't believe there's any parking on site anyway. So you just walk there through the Venetian. But I had such a great time.
JeromeBaker.com.
Jason's the best.
Hey, Adam Dunn Show listeners. This is a shout out to our amazing sponsor of over 10 years, SeedsHereNow.com. If you look for top quality cannabis seeds, look no further. SeedsHereNow.com has been in business for 14 years, making them the longest running established seed bank in the United States. This month, they got some exciting news for you. Check out the restock from TH Seeds and brand new releases from Snow High Seeds. Plus, June brings you incredible deals with 20% off all apple strains, the flavor of the month, and 20% off all Ethogenetics, the breeder of the month. But that's not all.
Don't miss the all-new clearance section with gear up to 45% off. SeedsHereNow.com prides themselves on providing the real customer service and a satisfaction guarantee. So
read all those codes now, Mark.
So head over to SeedsHereNow.com today to take advantage of these amazing offers. That's SeedsHereNow.com, where your growth journey begins, Dave.
It's a different thing, Dave.
Oh, okay.
That's a different thing, Dave. I don't know what's going on
with that. That's for Patreon listeners only.
Oh, that's for...
Yeah.
Oh, so this is a exclusive Seeds Here Now
Patreon,
something or other for
Go.
Patreon. So that's...
Yes, he'll be coming in.
We're
on
going to have a
all
bunch of giveaways.
hot.
Bunch of giveaways coming in.
Stand back.
He's
It's
coming.
organic. It's organic.
You should join.
Hopefully he'll join.
No, he was in the chat saying
No,
that
he
he'll
said
come
he
in
was
later.
going
Okay,
to.
good. And I want to save those for Patreon because those are our dedicated people.
Oh.
And he'll take care of everything, and it's going to be a bunch of cool seed drops that are
See,
gonna be
that's
down.
a nice way to do a giveaway.
I know.
I don't have to do anything.
I know, it's so much better.
Hey,
It's
Duke.
really great.
Like
Duke,
the minute we have to
seed
do
drop.
something that goes, we
the
drop the
dread.
ball. We drop the ball.
The dread. Oh, wait, how do we give him the
Have you been doing a lot of giveaways?
Yeah, I've been trying to.
It's hard, huh?
Do you make the companies do all the drop shipping?
Do you do anything? Do you do all, or what do you do?
Oh, they have to send everything.
Okay, good.
Like, yeah.
Are you involved in the picking of the winner at all?
Oh, yeah, I choose the winner.
And speaking about not giving away anything,
Yeah.
Adam Dunn Show show merch. Check it out.
Last one.
Yeah,
Oh, look at
you
that.
go buy merch.
Nice.
And we won't give it away. Thank you.
We won't give it away.
AdamDunnShow.com.
It's a drop ship company. We don't even get a discount.
Those we don't even get. Yeah, those.
I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you know.
Go buy a shirt.
Go buy.
Adam makes a nickel off of
I
each
make
shirt.
one nickel, one freaking. If you get two shirts, I could rub it together. Maybe I'll
Make
get
a quarter.
more. Yeah.
But more importantly, you're supporting the Adam Dunn Show by
Yeah.
showing people that.
And you know,
By spreading the word, the
all
good
that stuff, you
word.
know.
good.
Stop
well,
buying
well, you know what's
Ozempic and
hilarious is
fucking-
whenever I'm traveling, it's great because I always wear shirts just to pretend like I'm something, right?
You are something.
And literally, I was walking out, and this guy's he goes, "Are you famous?" Right? Like this is a guy working at TSA. And I'm like, more like infamous, right? And he goes, "No, I'm pretty sure I know you." And I'm just like, I don't know. And then I like show the shirt, and I saw him get to his phone, so I'm like, it's just classic. But I was like, then like right after that, like the three more people were like, it was because my hair was all ridiculous. Remember when I had my hair all super big? What's that going?
Who's that?
I think that's Vinny.
Barbecues down the
We're all
Thanks,
looking at our
Vinny.
phones. But I had like three people.
Shrimp are
I was getting the vibe of like
Everyone thought
each
each of us thought we sucked.
So you wear the word show. So if you have your show shirt on, it says show. People, they give you extra credit.
I don't do that when I travel.
No, because then if you're wearing my shirt, my name, it doesn't work. See, I get to see they go, "You're Adam Dunn." Oh my god.
At Cannabis, though, somebody saw the shirt from behind. It's like, oh, I listened to that show too, and I said, thanks, man. He goes, oh, I know who you are, man.
Oh,
keep
the
telling me.
landlady found my
Go
letter.
ahead. And then
we
he
love
threw a
that.
bagel at you. No.
How nice is that?
Then it would have been.
Fuck you.
He threw you.
Then it was a shitty bagel if he threw a bagel.
I'm glad Katie found my lighter because you guys already stole my other one.
Thank you.
Oh,
McCarter, thank you for stopping in.
Thank
you were
so
fantastic.
much for having me. This was so much fun.
You're welcome anytime.
Very structured show. It's
Yeah,
Oh, we're not going to go.
we're gonna
10
edit
hours?
for how long are you gonna edit this one for?
Oh, I'll be up all night.
Wow.
John
Got a long night ahead of you.
Cannabis Chamber of Commerce National Director.
Yes, executive director.
Right,
yes.
executive
Sounded
director.
so official, and then he walked in the room, and I was like, "This guy ain't official at all."
No, doesn't it sound like he has access to the purse though, in the checkbook?
Well,
I saw that you were
The
a friend of Lance's.
money.
I already knew you were corrupt at that point. Myself.
corrupt. I don't know about that.
Come on, Lance. Why didn't you show up? We didn't get him on.
I
he
sent
had his
it to him.
party
What do you want me to
tonight.
call him?
Well, no. Now it's super late. Now it's like what?
He had his party.
3 in the
Can't make
morning.
it.
His
Call
party's
him.
over. He's
Call
done.
him.
No,
Call him.
No, his phone's off
I
because
told
it's
you
sent as a
before.
text message.
Boo.
Text,
Not
text,
as an
text,
SMS.
They had
text,
their. I
text.
think they were
Oh.
calling it. What was it? There was the. They had some weird party going on. They had some competitions, some German. The idea of German smoking weed just blows my
Oh
mind.
wait, he's in Berlin. He can't
Oh,
get a
yeah.
text. I should have WhatsApped him.
Oh, you.
Dude, what are you doing,
Screwed
bro?
the whole show up. We could.
I am not doing
We could
10
have dropped
second
in and all,
reels.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Hey, stick
What?
with us for another half an hour, Mark.
Come
We could have had the
on.
Stein. We could have had the beer Steins.
Landlady
going
was like,
back and
get on those
forth.
10-second reels, Mark.
Yes.
What's-
Get on
Oh,
them.
this 10-second reels, Mark.
I'm serious.
No, you know the best part is if you get AI to do it, they'll never chop the right part. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
that'd be awesome.
that's not
actually.
funny at all. Like, we
That's
should just
actually-
do that for fun. Just do all AI.
Yeah, you guys do that.
Don't even
right on.
try.
Yeah.
Try the least you can try. Let's see if we can do
Yeah,
it
see
with
what- see
zero
what works.
effort.
That's
If we-
what works in
No,
marketing.
his phone
If
is
we do
off.
zero effort, it's gonna fucking rock, dude. If we try, we're gonna be so high level.
Nope.
They're not gonna get it. We're gonna be like, dude, we fucking made it. That's
Yeah.
smart, right? And they'll be like, don't get it.
We out-party all those fools.
Yeah, no, but we get AI.
That's
to make
right,
it-
Willie.
I think it's the best way to do it anyway, just because they just literally generate like 100 little clips for you in 30 seconds.
Try it out. And then
Do it.
they'll you can pull the best 2 or whatever.
Exactly.
You know.
And you gotta watch them though. That's the whole thing. Who's gonna watch them? That's the problem.
Oh, I am definitely
Oh
not
my
watching this. You
See,
that's
there's always
the
a
whole-
problem because it's not.
You
bad.
want us to watch us
Yeah.
talk
Then we have to-
I have
afterwards?
to watch my own content too.
I know, but you don't have Dave on your show.
Can you just do it for us?
It's really hard. It's hard for any of us. Like, remember that one time?
It is.
No, don't bring it up.
Do you remember
No,
that
don't
one
bring it up.
time?
Do you
Oh
remember
my
that?
God.
It was bad.
It was like in band camp.
We didn't want it.
Remember
we
that
didn't
one
want
time
it.
in band camp?
Yeah.
At
didn't
band
want it.
camp?
No.
Not good. Not good.
Nope. Don't.
No, we
like
saw
it.
ourselves and we
Oh.
both looked at each other and went, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It does not.
Yeah.
No, don't make me remember it. Why is the camera on Vinny?
Oh, because Vinny's part of the show too, Dave. Okay,
Hey,
how about
Vinny.
that?
We're down to our last.
Say hello to Vinny. He's the one.
Thank you for the wing and the
glorious
mac and
drops.
cheese.
And the glorious
No, we're doing it right. We're
There's
coming
more
in right on
coming.
time. We're not.
There's
gonna
more
rush it.
coming.
We got
Bring your
full-
seats and tray tables
I'll
to
eat
their
the whole
full and
tray.
upright
Oh
position.
yeah, we're coming in for a landing.
Hey,
It looks
I'm
like
gonna
we're about 3 minutes out.
actually. I'm posting the Patreon link if you want to get these goodies from Seats Here Now. From
Oh,
us.
you
That's
might as well
some
join Patreon
good
now.
and safe.
We had one
I mean,
person.
You might as well do
One
it
person
now.
quit. I'm not going to say their name because they're quitters.
Oh,
Quitters know who they are. They know who they are.
Hey,
They
the
know-
economy is rough right now.
But then I looked-
$4.20.
But my son, no, and my son was
month.
looking. My son goes, "Do you care?" And I go, "Not really," because it's like
$1.05.
whatever. And he goes, "Well, they weren't even giving any money anyway." And I'm like, "How do they even get in there without giving any money? They've been on there for how long?" What?
Well, you can subscribe without giving money,
Oh, and
but
then-
you just get like 5 words of the link or whatever. You know, you don't get the actual link or anything like that.
Oh, what's
Like,
the point
I
of
don't
that?
know. Well,
What do you have to
it's
chase
like-
the link?
What the hell is wrong
it's
with
like
you?
you get to
Hey,
see
I
what you're
have
missing,
so many
basically.
questions.
Well, he was a zero. He was a zero contributor to begin with, so I guess
He
it's
wasn't
not-
meant for you anyway.
No,
Maybe
we're
Kelly can make the
But
rules.
now he's
That's
not
what
going to
she
get
said. She
seats.
just
He could have
volunteered.
got all sorts of good.
Kelly's got it.
Yeah, Kelly's volunteered. She's
Sweet.
like,
What?
yeah,
Kelly's a wrench.
she's gonna make the 10-second rules.
Oh my God, what a champ.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kelly. Yeah, thank you, Kelly.
MVP.
Yeah, all right,
MVP.
yeah.
MVP.
Kelly.
She's like, you know how
USA.
We
USA.
suck so bad. We suck so bad. Thank you, Kelly. We love you.
Man, that was
Has
tough.
anybody
No,
ever
she
met
said
Kelly?
maybe-
in
Wait,
person?
who's Kelly?
Yes, of course you met Kelly.
Who's
I have?
Kelly?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Dude. What are you
She's there.
talking
We were
about?
hanging out with her at the end of the thing.
Oh
we were
my
just
God.
just
She
you, me,
runs
and
this-
Kelly.
she
How
runs
dare
the
you
whole
not
thing.
remember?
Oh, that's her. Okay,
She
no, I
basically
remember
runs
now.
the whole
Okay.
town.
Oh,
I got
it's the
it.
Alzheimer. Oh,
I didn't
runs
realize
the
same
town.
person.
She runs the whole place.
Yep.
She's running things.
She's mayor.
She's the last
She is.
person we saw on the way out last time. We got in trouble for being in the car, remember? Me and Cece got in the car that was there. That
What's
nice
wrong with
car.
you?
I left already.
Oh,
I just with you guys.
yeah.
Oh, and then she got in big trouble.
Thanks for the fun
Yeah.
glasses.
I think she
I
kicked her
have
ass the
several
next day.
pairs
She
at
was like,
home, or else
I'm
I
going to
would.
go in
I
there.
stole these from the same
I
party.
was really feeling
Oh,
sorry for
amazing,
those
yeah.
guys because
They're so
they
fun.
fucked up.
But it's fun to give them
Kicked
to
us.
the
They kicked
guests.
me and Cece out of
I
the
know.
car.
Look at you guys. You
They
like.
gave us they were like, this is like kicking out royalty. You can't do that.
Wait, it's almost 7:10.
That's why
Is
I am.
everyone gonna do a dab or what?
Yeah, that's how we end the show.
Oh
This is
my
it.
God.
But we usually we're like are going way past because we're all stoned
Wow.
and we
Stupid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never ending.
This is like a
show.
pretty on point. I think
We're
you actually
on it.
you tightened up the show. You
Thank
made us
you.
on our best
Well,
game.
you stuck it out with us. You said you only wanted to stay 20 minutes.
Oh my
and you
God,
made
she
it
did
the
not
whole
know
thing.
what she was getting into. She's
Well,
like, 20
yeah.
minutes. We're like,
That's what
no.
Tommy Chung did too.
I didn't
He said
know.
20 minutes, and
I
he
didn't
stayed
know.
a collective like 6 hours with us.
Wow.
That was nice. Yeah,
That's
he
a good
was.
time.
That was a good time.
Happy
actually. That was really
7:10.
Woo!
good. Whoopie woo.
Oh, Mark,
Whoop-de-whoop.
you are. You way to suck
well,
the
our
air out
deal
of
is
the
that we
room.
quit on the times. We quit at 4:20 and we
Yeah.
quit at 7:10 for 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's our deal. Yeah,
So we made an
reversed
exception
it. We
or
rever-
whatever.
Well, I'm
It's
actually
like-
quitting now.
Okay, now you quit. All right.
Bye. This was fun.
So you can't drive for like an hour now.
Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna take an
yeah, right.
Woo! Terp sneeze. I'm gonna take an Uber actually.
I just have to wait for my limo, so it's gonna
Stop.
Be okay.
What?
No, I'm not lying.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting picked up by a limo today.
Amazing.
They're gonna strap my SUV
on.
Really?
to
You're
the
getting
back.
towed
They're
by a
gonna
limo?
strap you down.
Exactly.
You're getting towed by a limo.
What kind of show is this?
I'm messing.
They're gonna
I'm
strap
just being
you
stupid,
down.
dude. Okay.
All right, join
Anyways.
Patreon, win
Okay,
some
bye.
seeds. See you
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
We're gonna go to see Tim at
Please.
Bio365. And
Oh yeah,
Uncle
Kelly's like,
Andy.
yeah, I'm doing all that. Yeah,
Uncle.
cool.
Oh yeah, she's doing it all.
Yeah,
All right.
good shit. Hell yeah,
Sweet.
right on.
Peace.
Peace.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it
I be spoken.